Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Night Electronic Box. This is for the week of the 29th of July, 2013. We're back after a 2-week hiatus, I think. Brad was in Spain or something, Valencia.
Yep, Valencia.
And Joe was in Las Vegas betting his life away.
Yes.
No. Joe's at Evo, and Brad was at DreamHack?
DreamHack, see.
Yes. Okay. So I guess probably worth talking about both of those things because they sound interesting and they are video game relevant. So since I have less of an idea of what DreamHack is, Brad, tell us a bit about what DreamHack is.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll just give you a little bit of an idea of what the event is before I talk about my experience there. DreamHack is like the world's biggest LAN party. It was, it started in Stockholm, I think it's in Stockholm. I know it's a bit outside of Stockholm, like Jönköping or something. I can't pronounce it.
You made that up. That's not a place.
Some Swedish place, basically, is where this thing was birthed.
That's racist.
And it's grown year on year in Sweden and become this massive thing. I think in Sweden they get like about 20,000 attendees or something ridiculous like that. And they have like full on like music auditoriums, like they have basically a DJ and like a massive rave room with lights and sets and stuff. They have an entire room with thousands upon thousands of rows of computers, just of all people who have brought their PCs down to play games. And then on top of all of that excitement, they have this stage show where they run a bunch of esports stuff. So their main focus is the StarCraft event, the DreamHack ISO Open. Sponsored by ISO, that's why it's called that. And it's an open tournament, so you can, turn along and compete in the open bracket if you want and try and qualify for the full event. They also have, more recently, Dota 2 is one of the things that they do on stage. And they also have a bunch of community-run tournaments like League of Legends. There was a Street Fighter gig set up there. There was a Call of Duty stage. There was a Counter-Strike Go stage as well. And DreamHack Valencia is the newly created, I think it's only been going 2 or 3 years now. I think this was the third year. I believe it was the third year of it being held over in Valencia as well. So there's ARMS currently there's twice a year in Sweden. There's the DreamHack Summer, which is held in Sweden, and then DreamHack Winter, which is the main end of year event. Which if you qualify through one of the other events, you get to go to DreamHack Winter, basically is how it works. And they also have DreamHack Bucharest, which I think is the newest one, I would have to imagine. So yeah, Valencia is like a slightly smaller event than the main one in Sweden, obviously. But it still had, several thousand attendees, and half the room was dedicated to just entirely like a LAN party. I think 4,000 or so people brought their computers along to this one. So yeah, it was pretty big and pretty awesome. And that's kind of the gist of what DreamHack is about. So basically the reason I went was because at my university there is a StarCraft society where obviously we're all quite into StarCraft, and on top of that a few of the people were into Dota as well, so it was things for everyone to go see there. And we ended up organizing nearly 13 or so of us to go on this mass group trip to Valencia and just experience DreamHack firsthand, which is something I wanted to do since I watched DreamHack for the first time probably 3 or 4 years ago. I thought, man, this looks fucking awesome. I'd love to be sitting in that crowd and at that event. So I can kind of give you an idea of what DreamHack's about.
Yeah, I think I honestly thought it was just a StarCraft thing until
30 seconds ago.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think
didn't really know
StarCraft
anything about it.
StarCraft is their main event. That's what they have 2 days dedicated to it. It gets a whole day on the main stage. But I mean, the Dota was pretty big. So the first day we went there, it was just kind of we ended up queuing outside the entrance in the sun, getting horribly burnt, waiting to get inside the stupid fucking convention center, because everyone was queuing up trying to get their passes to put their computers inside. So obviously it's a 4-day event, and on the first day people turn up with the most people turn up with their computers to go get them stamped and then take them inside and set up and get their spot for the LAN. So we queued for ages for that, but on the first day there was no real serious competition stuff going on. There were the small stages, people playing stuff, but there was no big stage show. And then on the second day, that was when the StarCraft Open bracket started and the Dota finals were on in the evening. And the Dota finals took over like the big main stage and it was like the big show for the day. But StarCraft also had stuff going on that day and then had its finals the next day. And because it's an open, as I said, people can compete if they want. And actually, 3 of the people we went with took part in the open bracket, which was kind of cool.
How far did they go?
So one of my friends in first year at my university and his brother are both like really fucking good. Like they're top Masters players. Raza, Zane's brother, was actually at one point in Grandmasters, which is the top 200 players in Europe at that time. And he successfully qualified through the open bracket. So basically, let me explain the format of the StarCraft tournament. So we turned up at like 11 and you have group stage 1. And group stage 1 is 64 unseeded players. So they're just anyone who wants to sign up can sign up. Obviously, they give precedence to people, who are, slightly better at the game. But the general format of it was like most groups had, say, two or three Masters players, which is the league below Grandmasters, and maybe a Grandmasters player, and a Diamond player, which is the 3rd highest league. So obviously the Diamond players, didn't really make it through, but the Masters players quite often got through. So it was a round robin thing. The group stage 1 was round robin, and top 2 players in each group went through to the group stage 2. And so Zane sadly didn't make it through. Moritz as well, who was a Diamond player, didn't make it through his group stage. But Raza, Zane's brother, successfully made it through the first group stage and got to go up against the seeded, the pros that were invited to come and play at the tournament, which is kind of cool. And then there's another group stage with 64 players, this time with 32 seeded players against the 32 players that made it through the open bracket. And Raza went up against Vortex, who had Vortex in his group. And Vortex is, funnily enough, one of the Spanish players. So obviously he was a hot favorite to get through that. He's probably, I don't know if I'd say he's the best, but he's one of the top 2 players in Spain. There's basically these 2 brothers, Vortex and Lucifron, and both of them are considered by far and away to be the best players in Spain. And he got to go up against him, nearly took a game off him, which was really impressive. Like, we went back later and we saw Vortex like sit in a computer, because like all of the computers that the pros play at are like in rows, and you can just go up and stand behind them, like behind a little barrier, and watch them play their games at any point. Or eventually they started showing up on the big screen as well. But if you wanted to see how they play and how the game played out from their point of view, it was really interesting. And yeah, when we went back later, Vortex was watching the replay against Raza because he was obviously, trying to work out how he almost lost to this guy he probably hadn't ever heard of before. Which was really cool. Raza actually is on a esports team. He's with FM Esports and gets like sponsored gear and shit. Like he has free keyboard, mouse, bag, and all that kind of stuff. And he had like a team shirt that he wore throughout the event, which was kind of cool. And the cool thing about being with a bunch of people who were playing in the tournament is they get to go in the player area and were able to like steal us drinks, and we got to go in and sit with them. And like when they were playing, we got to basically, whenever you're playing, you're allowed to have a manager sit behind you. And so we just rotated to let whoever wanted to sit with them whilst they played their games, which was kind of fun. You kind of felt like privileged, which was entertaining. And on top of that, one thing I want to mention is I'm a massive fan of White Ra, who's like probably the oldest StarCraft pro gamer at this point. He was massive in StarCraft 1 and probably even before that, and has continued, one of the few that has continued playing StarCraft 2. He's like, 40 or something at least, I think, at this point. And he still plays, like, he's still Grandmaster in Europe. He still goes to loads of tournaments and does competitively. And on the first day when we were queuing up for our tickets, I saw him coming out the thing and ran over to him and asked him to sign my mouse pad, which I now proudly have and I'm planning to get framed and hang up on the wall. And the thing that I found most amazing about DreamHack is I was expecting like all of the pros to be really busy, like, wanting to get to their next thing, just, go and practice or whatever. But they were so laid back. It was amazing. Like, you felt like you became friends with all of them. White Ra especially, like, he's such a nice guy. He just loves meeting his fans and just chilling out with them. Like, so when I stopped him for a signature, like, he signed my thing. We all got a group photo. His wife took a picture of us and put it on his Facebook feed for all his fans to see. And he put like, thanks to all my fans from the UK. on it as well. And like he didn't just go away after that. He hung around and like chatted with us and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Ibiza soon." Well, he's Ukrainian, so he has like an amazing accent. His English isn't great, but like it is still great to just listen to him, hear him talk, and just chat with us, and it was really cool. And we kept on seeing him like every day. Like even on the last day when he was going to the after party, I was like, "Oh, are you coming to the after party and stuff?" And we chat with him about everything. It was really cool. And that was kind of the theme of DreamHack Valencia for me, was just getting to meet all these people that I had followed in pro gaming for ages, and just finding out they're all really cool guys and like willing to chat with you and stuff. Another one was Bling. He's probably one of, if not the best player in the UK, and he actually knows Razza and Zane, the two people that we went with that played in the tournament, because he used to play with them. Like back when Razza was GM and stuff, he used to play with them and got to know them really well, because they're obviously all like the really good players from the UK. And so when I met him at the event, I actually got to play a game against him of StarCraft on a computer when we were there, which was really cool. And then he like followed us out of the venue and just chatted with us on the way down the road. And we were going to meet him at his hotel sometime, but sadly that never happened, because a bunch of stuff to do with getting tickets for the after party and loads of stuff. But that was really cool. I'm probably just going to reel off a list of names of people that we met and I thought were cool now. And obviously you two are going to have no idea who I'm talking about, but just understand that these are a bunch of people that I've wanted to meet for ages. Huck, who is a Canadian Protoss player and was like, back in early StarCraft, he was winning like MLG tournaments one after the other and loads of stuff. We met him going to a restaurant and then ate in the same restaurant that he was in on the way out. And it was funny because we were standing outside the restaurant waiting to go in. And then we turned around and we were like, holy shit, is that Huck over there with Yu-Gi-Oh, who's a Korean pro gamer? And then we ran over to the other side of the road and went to talk to them. The first thing Huck said was, why didn't you go in that restaurant? Is it shit? And we were like, no, we didn't think it was bad. We just came over to say hello to you, which was amusing. Who else did we meet? A bunch of people got signatures with Stefano. I don't know if you've probably not heard of Stefano either. He is a French pro gamer, and he's notable for being slightly arrogant, and also he's retiring at the end of this year. So like this was one of the last chances for anyone to see him at a pro event and get signatures. So people were excited for that. Who else did we meet? We met the two casters for the event were Sean Apollo Clark and Dan Artosis. And Apollo is also from the UK, which is kind of cool. And so when I saw him coming out from behind a booth whilst they were doing the casting for the main stage stuff, I stopped him, went over and chatted with him and got to talk to him about stuff and like previous casts and stuff, and it was just really good fun. So enough about people you've never heard of.
Yeah, I probably couldn't name like a single StarCraft player, to be honest.
Fruit Dealer.
Who?
Fruit Dealer?
Oh yeah, that's a StarCraft 1 pro game.
I only know that because of that whole thing on Giant Bomb when
the video when they went to Korea.
Yeah.
That was an awesome video.
And what's that other dude? Boxer?
Boxer, yeah, that's one.
Yeah, there we go.
Boxer's,
I think I might have heard of this Artosis person.
Artosis used to cast StarCraft 1, so they might have mentioned him in that video as well. Like he's been around forever. I don't know if you've heard of Day 9.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Day 9's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh. So those two are both prominent casters in the StarCraft scene, and general cool guys doing YouTube stuff and live streams and shit like that. So yeah, that was kind of all of that, and then there was all the fun of doing the group stages and watching all of that, and then when we went back on the third day was when they had the main stage show, and that was when it got really exciting. So like they had the massive stage which they held where the Dota was, and then they when we went back on the third day they'd replaced it all with like StarCraft signs and stuff, and at about what time was it? It can't have been before like 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock in the evening. They had this huge live show. They had like all sorts of cameras and lights, and they had the two casters out on the main stage in their little casting booth off to the side. And just being at that, it was like all that I'd expected it to be. Like that's the kind of bit that you see on live streams. You see the people sitting in the crowd and cheering and holding up their signs, and you just think, what would that be like to be there? And it was just fucking awesome. The atmosphere was fantastic. The games were all so hype. Like the crowd excitement, all the stuff happening in the games. And where I was sitting, where I was sitting, I was in like the third row from the front, right in the center. And with the DreamHack stages, what they have is they have like a little runway going out into the crowd, and then like a circular podium where they do the interviews. I was sitting literally within touching distance. I was like the innermost seat within touching distance of that podium, and the amount of times that I ended up on live stream through either like holding up signs or just being in the background of shots was filming people was ridiculous. And that was really cool. It was just such a really cool atmosphere, and I would go through. I can't explain everything that happened because it obviously wouldn't make sense unless you had watched it. But yeah, it was just such a fun event to go to and be there for. Don't really know what else to say about it than that. That's not without you guys haven't watched it. There's not too much else to say.
Yeah, sounds cool. I wish there was something that, like, in terms of games that I cared about. Yeah, that I could go to. Like, I don't know. Or like the esports stuff, like those games just don't. It might be fun to go with Evo because I've got some sort of understanding of fighting games. But,
yeah, I was kind of surprised at Evo, like the first one I've been to. There's a lot more there than like just the games being played.
Yeah. So with that, let's.
Wait, I just want to say one last thing.
Oh.
All I want to do now, more than anything, is go to fucking DreamHack Winter because it's just that next level bigger.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it is so huge.
How many people do you think were at Valencia?
I don't know, 6,000. Let's say less than 10. Like,
because like, was it in like a? Is it just one venue? It's like.
It was in one like super large hall, basically.
Oh, okay.
Inside this convention center. They basically, like, one of the massive wings, they just opened up loads of it, and they had, like, a LAN at one end, and the stage in the middle, and then a bunch of, like, sponsored gaming booths and stuff. They had a fucking, like, Nintendo section, and they had a Nintendo 3DS charging stand. You could just go up and just sit down and plug your Nintendo 3DS in so you could get more street passes. They had, like, a designated street pass spot. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so let's smoothly segue into Evo then.
Yeah, but Brad, it's hard to know where to begin, really. Did either of you guys watch any of Evo? Like, any of the streams?
I was in Venice, so I couldn't.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
John, did you watch any?
No.
That makes it a bit easier, because I don't really have to talk about, like, the actual games. I was there mainly for MK9. I did compete in MK9.
How did it go?
But I got to quarterfinals of my pool and was eliminated there, which it was kind of like my actual like competing experience was probably didn't really go very well because I left like to go on Tuesday night. No, Tuesday morning. Sorry. No, Tuesday night because I had like a really really early flight. And like I played like MK before I went, and then the next time I played MK was my first match against MIT, which is I think he was in top 8. He's one of the best in the world. Like I didn't get a chance to like play any of like the actual setups. Like you know what I mean, like just to get warmed up. Like my first game after like almost 3 days of not playing it was my first match against one of the best players in the world. So yeah, I'm not saying that like I'm doing it wrong. Like, I'm not saying I would have beat. There's no fucking way I would have beat him. But I might have at least put up more of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
That was not cool. But like my next 2 games were really good. My second match, I went 3-2 in the tournament. Won 3, lost 2. So second match was against a Baraka player. For those I don't know, you guys don't really follow it much. Like he's a very very underused character. Like he's fairly low tier, so people don't really tend to use him. And the match I played against him was fucking awesome. It went absolutely down to the wire. It was 2-1, me at the end of it, like in 2 out of 3 set. Every single match was like 2-1 rounds, like there was no 2-0s, like down to the wire in terms of life bar, like a slither left each every single time. I was knocked out of like an end game winning X-ray twice and still managed to win the set, which was fucking crazy. Yeah, but like, and then I played a cage player after that. My first match was a buy-in, by the way. My first game, actually, my first guy didn't turn up, so nice. that sucked even more. And then I played a cage player who I think was fairly new to the game, because like he was doing some stuff with cage that was very like okay, this guy doesn't really know how to play Cage, otherwise he'd be doing this.
Hmm.
That match was like fairly straightforward. And the match I got eliminated in was a Kung Lao player, and I was pretty pissed about that because it's one thing like watching this stuff like and playing it, and I think Brad, it's why I hope you compete in like StarCraft or something, because it'd be fun to compare notes. Because of the different kind of games, but like watching a stream, like when I watch like a fighting game stream, it's so easy to watch it and like, oh, he should have done that there, and then he would have won. I mean, it's granted that it's completely different when it's actually you playing,
Yeah.
but the hardest part about playing is just remaining calm. Like, Kung Lao is one of my secondaries in MK9. Like, I know that character very, very well. And after the first match, when I think I lost 2-0, I think he beat me 2 straight games. And after the first match went by, I was like, for fuck's sake, punish that fucking teleport. Because I was getting hit by like every single teleport. And then the next match, I kept saying to myself, like, every single time I saw a teleport, you know, I thought to myself, punish this fucking thing. And then I drop my punish and get hit. You know what I mean? Whereas when you just sort of play it at home with like no pressure at all, it's like, teleport, I'm gonna do this. Like, you don't even think about it. It's almost muscle memory. I mean, I won't get too much into like the mechanics of it, but I play Sector, and he can just like either uppercut that or like standing one it to punish it. And when you're at home playing like with nobody watching, no pressure, anything like that, you don't even think, oh, I'm gonna standing one this teleport. Whereas like playing in like that tournament environment, every single time I touched an opponent, it was like somebody like appeared right next to me and just yelled in my ear, don't drop this fucking combo. And of course, when you think that, you drop the combo and you don't actually get it. Like, it's a lot harder than I thought it'd be, like, playing in that environment. And
Yeah.
like, there wasn't really like any kind of like anyone watching, apart from the first game where I played MIT. Like, his brother was watching, and his brother actually won MK9 for Evo. Like, he was watching, but like, you know, there wasn't really like anything being said in the background to put me off. It's just like that pressure of playing,
Yeah.
you know, and your stuff kind of really mattering. Like, you know, when you're at home and, you know, just playing for whatever, it's like, oh, it doesn't really matter if I lose. Like, you know, when you're in that tournament environment, it's like, shit, I need to like not drop a single thing, otherwise like it could be the drop that cost me this match.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like the mental game of it is just, it's so much more intense than I really thought it would be. Like, I don't really suffer from nerves that much, like, just in general. But like every single time I started a combo, like, I probably dropped like 50% of the stuff I landed, and like I think every single one of my matches was recorded because I had a friend there, and he was like recording my matches for me on a camera. And I watched them back a couple of times, and it's so frustrating to watch your matches where you play like a fucking idiot. Like that Kung Lao match, it's like I watched that and I was like, Jesus Christ, like if I'd have punished these teleports, I probably would have beat this player. Like, that's all I needed to do. Like, all I needed to do was do this one thing. But you know, it's all an experience for next time.
I didn't play a DreamHack because I just know that there is literally 0 point. Like, I am not of a skill level to do that, and I will never be of a skill level to do that. But I know what you mean when you say you're watching the streams and you're like,
Yeah.
well, if they just did this, like, I can say that on a StarCraft stream. I can watch like what someone's doing and go,
Yeah.
well, that was retarded. Like, if he'd just done this, he could probably win. But I also know that that doesn't mean I could do it.
Oh yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no way like I could just do that. Like, I couldn't have got to the point that they were in the first place, let
Yeah.
alone have made the mistake that they did, or not make that mistake. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I wouldn't take part in those kind of events.
I think I mean I'd not really, like compare the two, but like I think with StarCraft, I mean like StarCraft, like there's so much competition for that game, it's ridiculous. Like MK does have a fairly small scene. Like, it does have a pretty small scene and a small community. So it's fairly easy to like get into that game. And like MK is not really a hard game to get into, like execution wise. It's a pretty easy game to play. And it really boils down to like, you know, the mind game of the player versus player. It's like who plays better, who reads better, who makes the better reads, and you know, that player's probably gonna win. Unless it's a terrible matchup. But that's pretty much it for the tournament. I did play a shitload more like outside of it. One player who I've it was weird. Like I don't know what Brad was saying. Like seeing people that that to you are celebrities, but they're just people that play games. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
There was after pools had wrapped up, top 32 was going out on the stream. And there was this guy playing. You guys probably won't know him, but P-Ward player. He's pretty well known in the scene. And I just saw him playing on a stream, and I was on a station rather, on one of the pool stations. And I just went up to him, introduced myself, I've been watching you for a long time, do you want to play? Do you want to play some games? And he sat there and played a solid hour and a half session with me, just playing.
Holy
casuals.
shit, that's awesome.
And that was really cool of him to do that. There's not many. I don't want to say there's not many, but that's really cool of someone to just do that. No matter who they are, but definitely someone that is pretty well known in the scene to just play for an hour and a half with someone he's never met. That is really cool. And I almost got one game off him, which was pretty cool. But it was amazing the difference. Even playing casuals, the difference in the pressure. It's it doesn't matter if I drop this combo. I can do fucking risky shit because it doesn't matter if he actually punishes me or not.
Yeah.
And I played better playing him than I did in the tournament. It was interesting, and it's kind of really even more so kind of reawakened my adoration for fighting games. I really want to go to more tournaments. I really want to succeed in the games that I want to play. So I'm looking to go to another one before the end of the year. And even if there's nothing coming out that I like, MK is probably going to fall off a little bit after this year because Injustice is out, and as far as the developer and the community goes, that is a much bigger game. Injustice was a pretty huge game at EVO. I think it had almost 800 entrants.
Wow.
Which is pretty huge. And that's a pretty common game for crossovers as well. There's a lot of Street Fighter and Marvel guys kind of playing Injustice and not trashing it, which is MK wasn't looked on very highly by other communities, so which is another topic. I can't be asked to get into that. But yeah, EVO as a whole, not taking not the tournament side of it, there's so much cool shit there that you just don't you don't really get a chance to see that stuff if you just see it on a stream. They had Killer Instinct there, which unfortunately I didn't get a chance to play because I don't want to criticize how it was set up, but the only way it was set up, it was back-to-back arcade cabinets. Well, they weren't cabinets, but it was arcade setups with a fight stick. I'm not a stick player, so I didn't really want to play it on a stick. I don't really like playing on a stick, to be honest. I don't find it very intuitive. And it was kind of just a straight up versus. It was you just play somebody, really. You'd play somebody for a few minutes and then you'd move on. The very first time I play a fighting game, I just kind of want to, pick a character and go into training mode and, start figuring the game out. It's how does the combo system work? How does the, fundamental system of the game work? I don't just really want to play somebody and mash, you know what I mean? That, I just don't find that very enjoyable. But it looked pretty awesome. It looked very, very flashy. It was hard to get a sense of how it worked just by watching it, but it definitely looked fairly unique. It didn't really remind me of any other fighting game that I'd seen, which I think is really good. I think it's really nice when something comes out like that in a genre that is not necessarily overcrowded, but it's really cool that they're going to do some new stuff with that. And I just really wish I'd have got a chance to play it and have half an hour with it kind of just on my own. But sadly, I didn't get a chance to do that. Dive Kick was also there again. Also, didn't get a chance to play that, which sucked. But that game actually, the more I saw of it, I didn't realize. I knew there was some individual mechanic stuff in it, but it sounds weird. I was more interested in that game when I thought it was the last year's Evo build, I think, where it was literally just, you had dive and kick, and that was it.
Yeah, I kind of got disappointed as well when they talked about the double button stuff, where each character has different abilities. It's kind of...
Yeah, and there's also some stuff in there about, if you...
I'd like to see a mode where that was turned off, and it was...
I bet it's in the game. I imagine.
But it'd probably break a lot of the characters. You could probably only play dive and kick if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, that's true. But,
are you gonna get that on Steam or PC? Steam or PS3, sorry.
I don't know. It a fighting game, I'll get whatever has the better online, and hopefully the online for that will be pretty good, seeing as there's not a lot.
Well, there's a huge list of people signed up for a Giant Bomb tournament on the weekend it comes out.
I would never play an online
the
tournament.
PS3, but I'm tempted to get the Steam one for a laugh.
I mean, I might enter that tournament for shits and grins, but I wouldn't really like an online tournament. Like, I can't stand playing fighting games online unless it's Tekken, because Tekken has good online. I know like Marvel and Street Fighter do, but I don't play those. Yeah, like online
I
fighting
say
games.
Street Fighter's online is good. They care.
Yeah, I know. Marvel's is pretty good too.
And I'm not even a
Marvel's is,
fighting game connoisseur.
Yeah, I know Marvel's is really good too. It's just like, yeah, MK and Injustice, they don't really have. Injustice is okay. I've been playing more of that. We'll get into that later, but like Injustice is definitely better than MK, but you know, the tagline of better online than MK9 is not impressive, because MK9 is fucking terrible. It's like a good game in MK is still bad. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is good, but it's still shit. Like, this only makes me want to punch my TV, not throw it out the fucking window. But I digress. Yeah, getting back to Evo, there's a lot of like kind of really awesome like community stuff there. There's a lot of like smaller games that don't get streams that you like unless you're either really into the scene or you're not there, you won't get a chance to see them. I got a chance to watch some top 8 of Super Smash Bros. Melee. I was talking to a player of that while I was queuing to try the Oculus Rift, and that is really weird to watch. I mean, it's been so long since I've played that game, I didn't really have a clue what was happening. But it was weird to watch like two people play Smash Brothers and not just throw shit out. Like high level Smash Brothers is must be really, really interesting. Like, they turn a lot of stuff off to play it, obviously, like a lot like the random stuff is disabled, but it was pretty cool to see that. There was some PS2 games running as well. I think they had some like old school Soul Calibur playing, and they had like tournaments for that. So I think it's really cool that sort of stuff is still there. I mean, like I imagine the people playing that are just like the hardest of the hardcore for those games. I mean, especially like Smash Brothers and Soul Calibur, like the PS2 Soul Caliburs are really fucking old at this point. So if you're still playing those competitively, like, you know, I imagine you're pretty serious about it. But it's just really cool to see that kind of like that level of like enthusiasm for gaming. I imagine, Brad, you probably got a similar impression of it when you were at DreamHack. It's weird to see that level of like event for games.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like it kind of it's almost surreal going to that and then
really
realizing all these people are here to watch fucking video games.
Yeah, like when
and
I
they're stoked.
When I was in the main, I was in the second hall for MK. MK and Injustice like had their own hall, which was pretty cool. Although the grand finals were like worked out pretty good for me, because the grand finals of Tekken Tag 2, well, like the top 8 of Tekken Tag 2, that was in the main hall, but they also had it going on like the secondary screen in the MK room. So like I was just sat kind of in the middle and was able to watch like both top 8s at the same time, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, like seeing just like, you know, just a sea of people like getting really hyped for a game. And you know, when I was a kid, like, you know, it was, you know, video games, oh, you fucking nerd, like, you know. And yeah, it was just really cool to be like, yeah, everybody here is like really fucking into fighting games, and that is fucking awesome. Like, you know, you don't have to like downplay like, you know, how hyped you get or anything like that. And it just made me like, I don't know if there's a word for it, but like not nostalgic, but like it did, you know, just make me think of when I was younger and like growing up, having kind of the level of interest in video games I have. It's so fucking cool that there's stuff like that out there. That like, you know, if you do happen to, you know, be in a situation or you live in a certain area where like you're the only person that gives a shit about video games, like, you know, there is stuff out there for you. Like, you know, depending on what you're into, I guess. I mean, John, I know you said like there's not really a type of game that you like on that level or can spectate, I guess, but it's really cool. It's just like as a fan of games, you know, and like it's just so cool that is a thing that exists, and that was something that like never really wore off while I was there. I was like, yeah, this is like there's thousands of people here, and like this is fucking awesome. Like they're all here for games, you know. So I really did like that aspect of it. There's other stuff I could go over for Evo, like, but it's not really going to be like relevant. I mean, I know you guys don't really follow fighting games that much. But yeah, like just the overall atmosphere and like just to add to what Brad said about like seeing people that you've been watching for like 2 or 3 years on streams and like actually getting to meet those people and in some cases even play matches with those people. It's like holy shit, like I'm playing this guy. Like it's really awesome. It's something that I was like people at work were really bewildered like before I went and kind of talked about it, and a couple of people have asked me like what was it like, and I just found it impossible to really explain to them. I was like, well, you don't, like, no offense, but like you don't really understand what it is, so I can't really talk about what it was like to be there.
Yeah.
It's like a festival kind of atmosphere almost. Like if you go to a music festival, but instead of music, it's video games. It's like, I guess that's like the closest thing I can, compare it to. Like, imagine a music festival, but instead of music, it's video games, and everybody there is fucking stoked. Like, like people go to like, I guess the music festival argument's kind of bad. I think about it. Like people go to that kind of shit just to get drunk and like get laid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's probably a few people like that at Evo. Don't get me wrong. Like, but there's probably less of them. Like, most people are there to enjoy, the fighting games and enjoy the competition and like even spectating. And I enjoyed it in a weird way, more so like when I had been eliminated, I was like, man, that kind of sucks. I was kind of salty after the match that I got eliminated in. I was like, man, I could have fucking won that. But immediately afterwards, I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to like play casuals with as many people as I can. I'm going to go and get food. I'm going to try all this weird shit. I'm going to watch like, the grand finals and all the top 8s when they're on. And it was awesome to see that stuff live. Like seeing that stuff live, like instead of a stream is just way, way better. Like, I haven't watched the stream since. I will be watching VXG that's on tomorrow. I won't be able to think like, man, it'd be so much better if I was actually there. Like, because when you're there, like you get the crowd for. Even though MK's got a fairly small scene, like the crowd gets really fucking hyped for MK. I guess they kind of have to, because it is such a small scene.
Yeah.
They have to make up for that with hype. But yeah, the MK crowd gets pretty amped up, which is awesome. The other main thing I wanted to talk about, I did get to try an Oculus Rift. I just remembered that while I was there. That thing was really fucking weird for the first like 2 minutes. It was set up on how it was set up. It was set up like hooked up to a TV, and when you put it on, like it was like kind of like for people to spectate. Like when you put it on, you see like a different viewing of the TV. You only see like kind of like the middle, like 50%, if that makes sense, and the left and right are kind of how you move with the Oculus Rift. You look left and you look right. The game I was playing was like a 2D like side-scrolling action game. So, like think of like the Dishwasher. It was something like that. Yeah. It felt like that. And I saw like the middle of the screen, and then to either look to the left or right. You obviously turn your head to the left or right. The setup, I'm not sure if there was a problem with the setup, but the actual image was kind of blurry, so like that didn't help. But after finally, I really wanted to try one of those ever since I heard it. I really hope there's support for that thing, because that's one of those things that when you finally try it, it's like, yeah, if this was pulled off really fucking well, like this would be amazing. To like, it got me thinking of like my main kind of jump straight away was like action games. Like imagine if you could have like peripheral vision in an action game instead of having to rely on them getting camera control right. Like that's something that in an action game is really fucking hard to do. Like getting a really, really solid camera that like feels good to control, but also actually, keeps your character in a center of the screen where you can see what's going on and you have good peripheral. Like imagine if they could do that with this. That would be, and like also it would even free up the analog stick that you'd usually use for camera control, and you could maybe do something else with that. Like it's one of those things that like as soon as you try it, your mind just goes ape shit. Like, oh, it'd be awesome if you could do this with it or this with it. And in theory, it's all possible. It's just, will the support be there to allow people to do it? Which is a whole different story. But it was really cool to try one. They're a lot heavier than I thought it'd be as well. I was on it. I played with it for maybe about 20 minutes. And yeah, like when I took it off, I was like, man, my neck hurts. Like that thing was quite heavy on my head. But yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps up Evo. There's way too much stuff to cover without boring people. So yeah.
That's the same feeling.
Yeah, if you ever have like, I guess I guess like the main thing, if you ever have like thoughts about going to something like that, fucking go, because
If you have something you're interested
Yeah.
in enough to consider going to one of those events,
Yeah.
then you should probably go.
You should definitely go. I would say definitely, because even if you don't have a great time, you at least tried it, but you're not gonna not have a great time. That's just not possible.
Those events are hype enough that even if you don't like, I ended up watching fucking Counter-Strike Go for about an hour, and like I don't ever want to play that game. Yet it was still like enthralling.
Yeah, I even watched some of Street Fighter 4, and I like played that game for like 20 minutes, but yeah, like watching the finals, like it was fun, man. Well, not the actual grand finals, because they would have been on Sunday. Probably still pools on Friday, but yeah, it was just really fun to watch that stuff, and like the community aspect of it, like people, like massive group of people just like set up a TV in like one of the hallways into one of the event rooms, and we're just like playing Street Fighter like on the floor.
That reminds me, the fourth day, obviously all the StarCraft stuff had ended, and it was kind of winding down, just mainly the lab kind of stuff. And I went in there, and everyone had just fucking taken over all the stages. Like, the LoL stage was showing 2 Diamond players play StarCraft, the Counter-Strike Go stage was playing LoL. There was someone who had stolen the TV for Call of Duty and was playing Guitar Hero on it, over the, like, entire sound system for the entire venue. Like, I don't even understand.
Oh, that's something I want to briefly mention. The sound system, like hearing, I don't know if it's, what was it like kind of at DreamHack? Like, is there like, is it just like stage sound kind of setup with like
for the StarCraft and Dota finals, there was a massive stage with like drop speakers from the ceiling and like walls of speakers and stuff.
I would, if money was no object to me, that's how I would play any fighting game, because hearing like the moves on those fucking, oh man, the moves just sound so fucking cool. It's like when someone hits somebody, it's like a fucking meteorite just hits someone in the face. Like, and it just all adds to it, you know, like it all adds to the experience. And it was just real. Even if I'm like not playing a game, I'm gonna go again next year just for like the event, just to go. Yeah. I will definitely be going again.
Next year, I really want to do winter if I have the money. So that's the plan.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It's without getting too boring for people that don't like fighting games or Evo.
StarCraft.
Or StarCraft, yeah. It's John, is there any kind of like genre that you could be into?
FIFA.
Yeah, but it has to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if FIFA would actually be that fun to watch.
I don't think.
And is there? Like, I mean, I don't really play FIFA. Like, you guys could probably answer this more. Like, is there much of like a meta game in FIFA? Like, like player versus player.
There are some small FIFA tournaments around, but
yeah, there's nothing major. And there's nothing like. I
mean,
don't think there's really like there's not like people like on the internet like, oh, here's this strategy that's like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, is there kind of a.
There's too many random elements in that game.
Yeah.
No, it's not
prevent something from working, and that game's just sort of.
Well, the strategy is 2-goal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lobbed through ball.
Yeah. There are strategies.
Choose the fast players.
When someone has like a strategy, it's generally just seen as being cheap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, is it really down to like StarCraft or Street Fighter? Like, it's player skill. Like, this player is better than this player for this.
Sometimes
this
it is, but
there's that. But there's
Like, is there that in FIFA? I mean, I don't play FIFA, so
no,
probably not reliable enough.
That game's too sort of messed up to be a proper esport or anything. I don't think there is anything really that I would. Like, I'm not really into strategy games that much, and like I'm not into fighting games enough to understand what's going on. I think I saw like a match of Evo. I think it was like it was Street Fighter, and it was like Zangief versus some guy playing as Cody. Oh, I forgot. I don't know. Anyway, and the Zangief guy just destroyed him, and I didn't really understand what's happening, and like. The casters were going crazy, and I was like, they were like sitting there, was like, oh, he missed this thing. I was like, wait, when did that happen?
Yeah.
And then like just saying stuff that I just didn't understand. I'd probably understand a bit more of like Mortal Kombat because I probably played more of that game, but even still, I'm not on a level where.
I mean, I think that the level of understanding you have to enjoy it just that little bit more is fairly low. Like, as long as you understand like kind of the basics like the basic fundamentals of a fighting game.
The terminology is confusing as fuck.
Oh yeah, the terminology. I think that's one thing that
I don't know what dash cancels are. Did I make that up, or is that a thing?
Well, dash cancel's probably in every. I mean, like that's in a lot of fighting games.
Yeah, I don't.
Dash cancel's in like stuff that's not even fighting games.
Yeah, I mean, like dash
I know what dash cancel is.
Yeah, like if someone mentioned dash canceling in Tekken, it's like you can take a guess at what that is, but like they're never really going to have the time to explain to you. I mean, they probably wouldn't anyway, really. I mean,
no.
I mean, they would never really have the time to explain. Oh, what he's doing is like he's dashing and then canceling it to a crouch, so he can dash again and only have like a 2-frame window of.
See, I didn't even know that was what that was.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Thank you for explaining.
Yeah. And like, but that took me like 4 seconds. A lot can happen in 4 seconds, like in a match.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they can't do that like realistically in commentary, but
in StarCraft. That's actually kind of a good thing, because they do, especially in the beginning of the game when they're saying, "Oh, he's gone 15 pool or 9 hatch or whatever." Like, well, 9 pool or 9 hatch is ridiculous, and no one would ever do that. Anyway, I say I put that on the wrong way, but because the beginning of the game is slow enough,
they can kind of talk about stuff.
Saying that, like at the event, especially Apollo, he is actually quite good at trying to make it a little bit better. Like he would say, "Oh, he's gone gas before hatch, which means he's going to have a slightly better economy and be able to get speed quicker, but he is a little bit less safe for if there was going to be an attack coming now." And like they have the time to say those little bits.
Yeah. I mean, they do in some fighting games. I think it's just one of those things that's like maybe less expected. Like if you're watching like an Evo stream or something like that, and even more so like with a strategy game, it's just with the nature of a strategy game, they have kind of the setup to do it. Whereas they don't necessarily when it's like a match can be over in 30 seconds in, you know, Street Fighter or MK or something like that.
Yeah. You know? I think my thing is just actual sports as opposed to esports. I think I'm just going to have to accept that.
Fucking get with the times, man. Actual sports are dead. It's all about esports.
Yeah, I just... No, there's nothing that's like... I don't know. Like, the multiplayer games that I'm into, like, I don't know. I can't even think of the last multiplayer game I really got into. I mean, Gears of War maybe, but that's way too messed up to be an esport. Like,
you know, although I think, ironically enough, Gears of War 2 did have an MLG.
Oh God!
I don't know if it had
MLG had anything that was vaguely popular, regardless of whether it was balanced.
Yeah,
MLG, like, I mean, they've been like it for a while. MLG have what is popular. They don't really give a fuck.
They don't give a shit about what's actually good
like,
to watch.
it's kind of shitty. As a fan of like MLG Halo, like they've kind of, you know, it was. I mean, they've been pretty upfront about it, I guess, but it's like, yeah, you know, like StarCraft and League of Legends and that sort of stuff is way fucking bigger, and you know. In some respects, like, easier, and we get more support. You know, the Halo crowd is kind of a bunch of fucking idiots, so you know, it's like you can't really blame them, but it does kind of suck because Halo is very. I find Halo very, very fun to watch. Well, Halo 3, I guess. Like, I didn't really see much of Reach, and I think 4 had like 1 season, and then that was it. But yeah, Halo 3 was really awesome.
Okay. Did anyone play anything?
I did play some stuff, yeah. Like,
yep.
I played quite a bit. Yep.
Okay.
I had free time, man. I played.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't sleep. Well, I did, but.
Who's going first?
Joe.
Okay, I'll go first.
That went well.
But I thought, I've been talking for a while, so, you know, keep the pace, but fine. Fine. Okay. What did I play? I played a shitload of Injustice. I finally put time into that game. I finished the story mode. I didn't really enjoy it that much, to be honest. I think my own kind of lack of caring for anything DC probably was a pretty big factor of that. Like a lot of the characters, I was like, okay, who the fuck is Green Arrow? Oh, okay, he has a bow, cool. And like a lot of the other characters, like they look kind of interesting, but I don't really know who they are. You know, like when Doomsday shows up, it's like, okay, he just threw a building at Superman. That's pretty cool, but I don't know who this guy is. Like, so I like, and I don't think it was really set up as well as like the layout of it is pretty much exactly the same as MK9 story mode. Like you play one chapter as one character, you have a cutscene, you know, goes into fight, you know, repeat for like 12 chapters, and then the game ends. that aspect of it is still done really well. Like, I imagine if you're a DC Comics fan, like, this was probably, amazing. This was like how MK9 story mode was for me, but with DC characters.
Yeah.
I've played through MK9 story mode like 3 times. I fucking love that story mode, just because of the characters in it. But like, I want to talk more about the game itself. Like, it's for someone that's played a lot of MK, it's very different than MK. For someone that's played a very little amount, like, and this is pretty much how it has been, like, it's kind of written off as like, oh, it's MK with DC characters. It's like, well, no, it's not. Like, there's some pretty big differences.
Yeah, from the small amount I played of it, it seemed fairly different. Like, there wasn't. I mean, I'm not some amazing MK player, but like, I could beat my flatmates pretty comfortably. And I was getting, it was like 50-50 on games when I was playing Injustice, so it wasn't like I could just directly translate everything I knew from MK.
Yeah, there's no, oh, this B&B in MK is exactly the same as this B&B in Injustice. Like, there's nothing like that.
And I don't know, there's not like characters that are just like, oh, this is just, this is just Scorpion, or this is just
I think,
Smoke.
unless you actually have Scorpion.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Injustice, but we'll talk about him later. But yeah, like, the mechanics of the game are fairly interesting. I think it's in, like, development-wise, I don't know if you guys, like, know about this or anything, but like, quite a lot of like, top MK players were actually testers for Injustice. They got them in to test it before they shipped, because there is some pretty, like, not broken, but there's some pretty, like, considerable dirt in MK for some of the characters that went unnoticed, and of course when the game comes out, people find it. It's like, oh, do we, it's that problem of, like, people are using this stuff, like, do we take this away from them, or do we leave it in and, see if the game can actually compensate for this stuff that's in the game? Like, a lot of those guys tested the game before it came out, and there's some pretty cool stuff in there mechanics-wise. I don't want to get too much into this, because I know you guys aren't, like, huge fighting game people. But do you guys know what armor is in a fighting game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like, in MK, like, every single like, there were certain characters that had armor moves that led into combos, which is a devastating tool if you have it. Real quick, if you don't know what armor is, like, you take the damage of an attack, but you don't have, like, any stun associated to it. So, like, you'll still have the damage, but your move will still come out. Like, Scorpion's EX Spear has armor, so he has one hit, which he'll just absorb the damage, but his spear will still hit you. So you can't, like, throw one projectile and knock him out of his spear, he'll still get you. I think every single character in Injustice has at least one, like, basic armor move. So, and they all, like, factor in as launchers. I think it's like forward 3 and back 3, with meter is just a built-in armor move that every single character has. Which is, I think, is really, really cool, because there are some characters that, like, if they didn't have that, I mean, my main is Grundy at the moment. I main Grundy because he's fucking man, and he's just really, I really, really like playing Grundy. He's a lot of fun to play, and if he didn't have those moves, he'd be fucking worthless. Like, if that character didn't have armor, like he's slow as hell. Like all his moves, apart from, I think, his, like, uppercut, are like fucking at least like 13 to 15 frames start up. He's a very, very slow character.
As far as I could tell, it was like sort of split up into 3 sort of classes. There's like the big guys like Solomon Grundy and like Doomsday and stuff, and then there's like the medium characters like Batman, and then I think there's like the smaller characters like Catwoman and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Flash, and of course, he's pretty fast because he's the Flash. But yeah, like, the way they've split up, like, the characters is really awesome. I really like that. Like, we're, like, playing as Grundy, but, like, you don't feel, I mean, obviously you're slow, but, so far, like, there are still things in the game that allow you to deal with a fast character. The main thing with Grundy is, like clever use of his armor. It's like, if you use his armor moves really, really well, you can get in on the fast characters, and because he deals so much damage, I mean, he hits like a fucking truck whenever he hits you. So, you might take a little bit of damage getting in, but once you get in and you land your combo, like, you can take like 60% off the opponent for like 1 bar of meter. It's like, he's fucking ridiculous. But like, he feels balanced in the fact that he is very, very slow, and like the really strong, like, kind of projectile characters can keep him out if they know what they're doing. It's like character balance is pretty cool. Have you guys seen much of like the interactables that are in the game? Like
Yeah.
throw at people. They're something that I feel maybe will come to like be kind of figured out. The one thing I really like about playing Injustice is that it is a new game. It's not like, it's not like Tekken Tag where like, the people that were really, really good at Tekken 6 are, pretty fucking good at Tekken Tag. Like, Street Fighter 4 and its iterations, like, the top Street Fighter players are going to be pretty fucking good at, Super Street Fighter 4. It's just got more characters in it and that kind of stuff. Injustice feels brand new. It's like, I can, I posted, a combo like yesterday. It was just an anti-air, like that was new, like just because it's a new game, and like there's so many characters, there's so much stuff to go into, and it's like, oh cool, like it's really cool to like find new shit, and I really like that about like new fighting games. But yeah, the interactable system is, I find it more annoying rather than like, I don't want to say it's broken or anything, but I feel like it definitely favors like the power characters more. I mean, I play Grundy, so I get like the power interactables. Like the different characters use them in different ways. The power characters, more often than not, will just throw them at people. So there's stuff in the stages, and they're unblockable, and they do like a set amount of damage. In some instances, you can even use them as like a reset. So if you end a combo near one that ends in a certain move, you can then go for the interactable and get like a follow-up guaranteed 20%. Like, and that's quite a lot of damage for what they are. Like, and they have like pretty quick startup as well. Like dodging them can be fairly tricky, especially online. Like dodging them on reaction can be quite tough. But I think like that's going to kind of factor into the metagame. I hope like there'll be ways around it. Grundy can like armor through some of them, I think, unless that's inconsistent. But I have done that a couple of times. I don't know if that was like my wake up giving me more invulnerability than it should. I know some characters can definitely just dodge out the way of them. Like some characters have like an air dash, so you can just jump up and dash like, over them or behind them and they won't hit you and that kind of stuff. But at the moment, I just feel they kind of favor the power characters a little too much. Like the gadget characters will like put a bomb on them or something and then they'll explode. And if you see a gadget character do that, all you really need to do is like stay the fuck away from it because it will blow up like on a set amount of time. You know what I mean? Like, if it actually gave that character control to detonate it, which, to be honest, I haven't tried all the characters yet. Maybe some of them do. But yeah, like, that seems a little bit unfair. But yeah, so far I'm really liking Injustice. The online's not great. I've played a little bit of it online. Grundy seems to be one of those characters that kind of works well online. Like, his combos aren't very execution heavy. So you can just kind of mash and, like, the combos will come out. But if you get like a decent game, you can actually, just play it regular. It's definitely better than MK9, but as I've said, that's not really saying much. Like the very best game I've had in Injustice, like, felt like offline. I will say that. Like the very best game I have is like, holy shit. Like I don't have to fucking, commit to anything dumb here.
Yeah.
I can't actually react to moves. Like this actually felt really good to play. I don't know if there's any ways to improve that or anything, but it'd be nice if they could. Like, I think it's one of those, as a fan of fighting games, it is annoying that, the online is always kind of it's the most important thing about the game, and it's so hard to get right. It's like Tekken's online, well, like since Tekken Tag 2 at least, like Tekken Tags and Tekken Revolutions online it's just ridiculous. It feels exactly the same as online. Offline rather, if you get like a full 5-bar connection. Like it's insane. Like it's insane how good it feels when you're playing it online. The day can't come soon enough where every single fighting game has that. So, but I guess pretty much it for Injustice. There's not really a lot to talk about outside of the story mode. The story is actually pretty interesting. I won't get into it because I don't want to spoil anything, but it is pretty cool. It definitely takes a while to get going. The intro to it is pretty awesome. Like it really kind of starts out strong, and then I feel kind of falls off until like chapter 5, like when it really picks up again. But there until like the end of the game, it's a really, really well done story mode. But yeah, we'll probably talk about that more as I play it. I'm really liking it so far. It feels great to play like a new fighting game. It's awesome. It's awesome to like figure shit out. It's one of the most fun things about them for me, is just finding stuff, even if like you find something and you find out it's already been found, it's still satisfying to like, yeah, but I found that on my own. Like, it might be known, but I still found it. Like I still found that in the game. Like, it's cool. It's a cool feeling. What else did I play?
It's the same reason I played games like Fez and Chamber.
Yeah. Finding stuff is awesome in games. It's like, and especially if you're the first person to find it, because then it's like, yeah, I found that. Like,
fuck you guys.
Yeah, it's like people are using that shit, and I found it. Like, that was awesome. I did also play a shitload of Ninja Gaiden over this past holiday. Secondary to my Evo, weekend. I actually met up with quite a few people while I was in America from like the old NG scene from like 2006, 2007. And we played a shitload of Ninja Gaiden Black at one of the guys' houses. This is like a group of us just kind of holed up playing that game. I haven't done that in probably 6 years. It was the last time I had a chance to play that, like as a spectator game, like where you just kind of pass the control around and, talk and just play, you know what I mean? Like, not strictly multiplayer, but it's a kind of multiplayer. And yeah, that was awesome. It was awesome to meet those guys. Like some of those I've been talking to like online for like 6 or 7 years ever since I started playing the game. And it was awesome to just meet those people and play that game like in person. I find it really hard to like talk about that in a way. I really want to put up like a blog or something for it for the Ninja Gaiden site I'm on, and I'm finding it really hard to talk about it because it's hard to explain like what made it so cool. It was like, these are like celebrities to me, but in a weird way, like I am to them as well. It's like it's really fucking strange to like meet those people and play the game with them, but it was awesome. I did also play some more BioShock Infinite, but I know, John, you said when you get to the gunsmith, that picks up.
Yeah.
I got to the gunsmith and was met with 2 glorified fetch quests, so I was like, okay, I'm not really feeling this anymore. Like the first bit where you go into like, that's not really a spoiler, the rifts. Like
Yeah.
Like that first bit, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like alternate reality. Okay, cool. Like this is getting interesting. And then when you finally get there, it's like, oh, you need to go find this thing at this thing and then come back here. And that's when I stopped playing it. I was like, really? Like, oh, come on. Like, you're not making this easy for me to like, you game. I don't really know if I'll go back to that, to be honest. It's not really hooking me in any way, shape, or form. Apart from the fact that like it is a really good shooter, like it plays well, but I've played a lot of shooters that play well, so I don't really think I'll go back to that, to be honest. Which is disappointing. I was really kind of just really hoping that game would be good, and because like after BioShock 2, it was like, yeah, I really want to get into BioShock again, and this game just doesn't feel like BioShock to me. Maybe I'm just too hung up on Rapture as a setting, but I just think without Rapture, you don't have BioShock. That setting is so essential to what makes BioShock feel, unique, and just what makes me want to play that game over and over and over again is that is such a well-realized fictional setting that I just want to be in it for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And I just don't get that feeling from playing Infinite.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I did also play some Metro Last Light. I picked that up in the Steam sale. I've been wanting to play that for a while. I played probably about half an hour of that. I didn't really get a chance to play much of it because I then went and played something else, which I'll talk about in a minute. But like so far, I quite like where that game's going. Have either of you played that yet?
No, I sort of forgot that game came out. I was like, I saw it and like I heard the what the console version was like, and I thought maybe I'll wait until I eventually. Just not as good.
PC version is very, very impressive.
Which game are you talking about? Sorry,
Metro Last Light.
Oh no, I said I'd buy it, and then
it was in the Steam sale.
Oh fuck, was it? Yeah, well I wasn't in the fucking country. God damn it! Fuck you, Valve bastards.
Oh man, yeah, it was in the Steam sale.
So like, I was sort of thinking.
It wasn't like a $5. I think it was like maybe 15 or something %. It was like 26 quid or something like that.
Oh, that's not okay.
But yeah, I was like, I'm fucking buying that. Yeah, that is a phenomenal looking game on my nice new PC.
Yeah,
that is pretty fucking impressive.
Some of those games that I think like when I eventually get around to like building a PC, it's like something I'll play, but not. I won't get it on console, I guess.
Yeah, it really is an incredible looking game. But yeah, I only played about half an hour of that. I won't really get into story stuff because the story stuff, like the setup, is actually really interesting. So if you've played Metro 2033, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like they've definitely tightened up the mechanics quite a bit. It's still like, you know, it doesn't feel like Call of Duty or anything. But it feels a lot more responsive. Like, you know, the guns kind of still have like the feel of weight, and like, you know, you feel like an actual human being holding a gun, as opposed to like, you know, the Terminator holding a water pistol, like, but being able to move really, really quickly. Like you know, it feels realistic, like, to use the guns in that game. It feels really good. I don't want to like put people off by saying they've tightened up the controls, because it's not like, you know, you're not like jumping around and doing like fucking, you know, headshotting people in the face with like one bullet. Like, it still feels good. But yeah, I'll probably talk a lot about more of that next week when I've played more of it, because that's probably the next game I'll play through. What else did I play? Oh, I played some more of the Last of Us multiplayer. I got around to playing that. John, you've played quite a bit of that, haven't you?
Sorry, what?
The Last of Us multiplayer?
Oh, yeah, God. Blanked out there.
Yeah, I played some of that today. Honestly, I thought it was kind of shit.
You didn't like it?
No, I really.
Oh man, I thought it was quite cool.
I mean, maybe I'm just too fucking fed up of shooting people, but it just felt like a third-person shooter multiplayer with mechanics that are fucking garbage for player versus player multiplayer. Like, I really didn't like it.
I can understand, like, not.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Liking how those mechanics are applied to a multiplayer game, but
yeah, that was my biggest thing. Like multiplayer, multiplayer is all mechanics. It's why people play it. Like, you know, people play multiplayer, you know, for the competitive aspect, you know, and outplay it. Like that game. Like, I mean, I don't know if it. I mean, I was playing with a friend of mine who has been playing it quite a bit, and he was saying that like the game we were playing was pretty laggy, but like there were times like where I'd just like dump a whole fucking clip into a dude's head and nothing would happen. It's like, oh, okay, he just walked through that and hit me with a piece of wood and now I'm dead. Yeah,
that doesn't. I didn't have that many problems with lag. I don't know. That just sounds like.
I mean, that could very well be, but like, I don't think I'll play much of that really. Like those mechanics, like I don't want to use them for multiplayer. Like, I want to. Although shivving a dude is fucking awesome. Shivving a dude in multiplayer is amazing, because it's like, that's a real fucking person. Like, he didn't know that was coming, and he's like, oh shit, I just got shivved. That was awesome. But
I quite like how they sort of implement stealth into the multiplayer.
Like, that shiv kill was the most fun I had while playing multiplayer. So yeah, I don't really think that is not the reason to play that.
Which mode were you playing? The mode with respawns or the mode without respawns?
Yeah, I was playing the mode with respawns.
Oh, okay. I haven't played that mode yet. I don't know. I felt like the mode without respawns was more in keeping with the sort of tone of that game.
It would be. I just don't feel those mechanics really.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Like I wasn't really like playing it for like, oh, I'm gonna get like some amazing kill death ratio or something.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I
don't give a shit about that in games where you're supposed to. But, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of disappointed by it, really. I know a couple of people that have been playing it. One of the guys was one of the guys I was playing with. Like, he's like really into it, and I was like, yeah, you need to play better shooters, like, you know, because he hasn't really played like much multiplayer shooters, and I think he'd probably enjoy them a lot more. Because that's the main thing I couldn't get past. It just felt like a, you know, multiplayer shooter, but with gimped mechanics. I was like, yeah, this doesn't really feel good, you know. But I really want to get back to The Last of Us, though. I want to finish my Survivor playthrough, because that game is... don't know if you know, Brad, that game is pretty good. You should probably play that.
Somehow.
You should get a PS3 and play that game, because... It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird doing Game of the Year if you haven't played that game.
Fine.
Pretty confident I can say that.
Can I play it on a PS4?
PS4 backwards compatible? I don't think it is. So no.
Can I Geico
unless it's like released on the digital store, like.
Can I Geico it?
maybe,
I don't
but
know.
that functionality won't be in the PS4 at launch, probably. So, yeah.
But yeah, you should definitely.
I've been talking to quite a few people who've been like seriously considering buying a PS3 just to play The Last of Us.
If I can get a PS3 for 30 quid. That's my limit.
That's stretching it a little bit, but fair enough.
I don't care if it's going to burst into flames after I finish the game.
Here's an idea. Why don't you buy a PS3 and a copy of The Last of Us, play through it, and then just take it back and be like, yo.
How much money will I lose?
You don't lose anything. Just take it back and get a refund. Be like, yo, I don't like this. Because game shops allow you to do that, which is fucking insane.
I don't know. That seems a bit bullshit.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort, really, isn't it? That's too much effort to go through. You should probably just like steal a friend's PS3 or something. That's all you got to do.
What?
You'd be able to play through it in like a couple of days, and he'd be like, "Oh, my PS3 was stolen," and you can be all, "Oh man, that sucks." And then 2 days later,
be hero and find it. Be like,
2 days later, then just put it back in his house, and then one of two things will happen: he won't mention it, or will mention it, and you'll be like, "Dude, are you okay?" Because otherwise, he might just think he's crazy.
I don't have any time to do it this summer. I don't reckon.
It's not that long of a game.
All right, I'll think about it.
But yeah, you should definitely play it. That's what I'm getting at here. It's a fucking good game. I think that about does me for games I played. I'm probably forgetting something. I think I'm forgetting something on PC, but I played a lot, so.
You said you bought Dishonored, but never actually.
Oh yeah, I bought Dishonored. I haven't had a chance to fire that up yet, but I did buy that.
Yeah. Okay. Bradley.
Yeah.
Regale us with stories of games.
All right. I played, obviously, whilst I was away. Didn't really play any StarCraft because it's kind of hard to play StarCraft when you don't have a computer.
You're just not dedicated enough.
Dicked around with my 3DS a lot because I was with people who are well into street passing and all of that jazz. I completed the Street Pass quest, the one where you have to rescue your Mii by getting Street Pass people to fight dudes. Don't know if you're aware of that.
No, but now.
And when you complete it, like recently they updated the Mii Plaza and were like, oh, there's a Street Pass quest too. So I completed the first Street Pass quest and I was like, fuck yeah, now I can start the second one. And then I was like, why can't I start the second one? Why does it say restart the first one? So I looked it up online and it was like, you have to collect all of the hats that are in the first one. And the hats are like fucking random drops off of monsters. And I immediately lost all interest in ever street passing again.
And even though you've explained it before, I still don't really get the point of street passing.
Moving on.
Yeah, I know I've asked before, and I still don't really get it.
There isn't, but why not? I mean, you do get stuff in games. Like in Animal Crossing, when I street pass people, I get a copy of their house. And if I go to the model house thing to the north of the town I'm living in, I can go view all the houses I've street passed. And if I go inside and I see a piece of furniture I like, I can order it and get it delivered to my house. And that's a good way of getting furniture that you haven't seen in your village yet. So if someone has like a piece of furniture you want and you street pass them, then you can get it like immediately rather than having to wait for it to randomly show up in the Nook's corner of the shop. Or like any of the other shops, or some other method, like finding it in a tree or something. So it is vaguely useful in some situations. Did I talk about Trackmania Valley last week? I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I haven't played any more of that because I didn't have time. I honestly didn't play too much. The one thing I did do is a friend of mine persuaded me to start Persona 3.
Yes.
So I'm playing it
more.
I'm playing the PSP version.
Okay.
I don't know if you know anything about the PSP version. It's basically
All I know is that you can play as a girl.
Yeah, I'm not doing the play as the girl. I'm doing the play as the guy, which is play the way the game originally was.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's different, as far as I'm aware, is a lot of the scenes that are like 3D are just 2D. Like the art is just simplified.
Yes.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's more or less identical.
I think I remember seeing the quick look and being a bit weirded out by it because.
Okay. So the thing is, I'm playing on an emulator on my phone. There's two problems with this. One, it's obviously the PSP version, and I think the PS2 version might be better.
Yeah.
And two is so it runs at full frame rate, like it's perfectly smooth, but the audio is fucked. Like the audio is crunchy, like crackly, and you know the way you don't really want it to be. It's not really a problem most of the time. It's just sometimes kind of irritating because it ruins like the music, and the music's pretty good in that game.
Yeah.
I haven't played that much. I've probably played like 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously not anywhere like in the game at all. So the question is, I've got two options. One, I continue play. Oh, sorry, I've got three options. One, I just continue playing it on my phone because I'm more likely to play it that way because I just have it with me and can keep. And I just kind of ignore the audio. Like I just either use headphones and put up with it, or most of the time if I'm playing it on my phone, I'll be out somewhere and I won't really want sound, and I'll just read the text. Two, because it's on an emulator called PPSSPP, I believe there's a PC version of the emulator, and I could probably just copy the ROM and my save off, and the ISO and the save off, and play it on a PC, and it'd probably fix the audio glitching. Or three, start again on a PS2 emulator, which is a pain in the ass to get working on the PC. What would you recommend, John?
Well, I mean, the PS2 version of the game is probably the superior version, but if it's an arse pain to do, then maybe.
Yeah, the only thing that's really a massive pain about PS2 emulation is you can't. So you can download an emulator, but it doesn't come with the BIOS of the PS2, so you have to source that yourself via illegal torrents.
Yeah.
Because they're not allowed to distribute it.
I don't know. Or you could just, like, have you got a PS2?
No, that's the problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just play the PSP version on the PC. Because, I mean, like, the story stuff is, like... I assume, like, all the voice stuff is still in the game,
yes,
isn't it?
it's...
Yeah.
There's still a lot of voice, or there has been so far. There was some stuff that wasn't, but I assume that's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is really interesting. Like, I was playing it, and I was like, great, my friends persuaded me to play a visual novel. Because it basically is for, like, the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I just pressed X a lot for about an hour.
Yeah, that game's got a long wind up, I guess.
But it seems really cool, and also it's batshit insane.
Yep.
And it's kind of like... Sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I really like the localization job. Like on Persona 3 and Persona 4, it's just they've done a really good job of like putting in, like American or Western humor that actually works instead of just like trying to directly translate a lot of the Japanese humor. Which
absolutely.
is like, I think that's a lot of the reason that a lot of JRPGs don't work for me is just because like that culture is just so completely foreign to me that like a lot of like, I don't know, the jokes and references and stuff just don't work, and like the way characters talk to each other is just weird and unnatural, but like they've done a really good job of like actually trying to make it like, I don't know, Western. I'm not trying to say like, Western culture is better than Japanese culture. It's just, the culture that obviously I've been brought up, and it makes way more sense. And like, I'm not sure who does it, but they've done a really good job. And
the culmination of all this is I was planning on watching the Persona 4 endurance run, and my friend was like,
I can't believe you still haven't done that.
My friend was like, no, you are going to play this game, don't watch the endurance run. And then he had a copy of Persona 3 on him, and he was like, this one's really good, play this one now. And I had nothing else to do on a 4-hour bus journey from Madrid to Valencia.
Yeah.
Apart from fall asleep, which I did whilst playing the game.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would probably still play Persona 4 if I could, easily get a hold of it.
What, over watching it?
I mean, I've already seen the endurance one like twice, but
I thought you meant for me. You were suggesting.
Oh right, no, I was saying like personally, I could like play that. I could play that game even after having watched it, because it's just a cool game. Yeah, I mean, if you still haven't watched the endurance one, I'd highly recommend it.
Do you reckon I should finish 3 first, or do them simultaneously, or will I get confused?
I mean, whatever. Like the stories aren't related, and like.
Yeah, so I could do them both at the same time.
Yeah, and Vinny and Jeff haven't played Persona 3 like at that point. Oh, they've played like bits of it, but it's not like they go into spoiler
They're not
or
going to
anything.
spoiler it, yeah.
No, neither of them have finished it.
Okay,
so,
I'll probably do both at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there are like characters and themes that are similar, but not like nothing spoilery. Like
Sure.
Igor is in both games. I assume you've met Igor because he's like at the start of the game, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You should do that. Cause,
I'll come back to that when I have more to say about it.
Yeah, I haven't jumped back into Persona 3 in a long time. I think I got like 30 or something hours into it, and I need to finish that because that's still part of my like backlog thing that.
I've got up to going into the tower for the first time.
Yeah.
And then going around the first floor.
Yeah, I think I was on like the 60th floor or something when I stopped.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It has an end though, doesn't it?
No, the game just goes and goes and goes.
What? Oh, I thought that one ended.
No, it totally does.
Okay.
Yeah, it has an end.
How come you stopped?
So was that it for games or?
I said, how come you stopped?
Oh, how come I stopped? I don't really know. I was going to do that whole backlog thing of like trying to play through games in like some sort of ordered structure, which I did for about 3 or 4 weeks and then gave up. So like that was going to be like a bit further down in the whole thing because that game's like something like 120 hours long or something.
Yeah.
So I was going to be sort of like playing that while I played like shorter games as well, and I just never got around to it. But I will boot it up again because I do really like it. It's just a long game.
Sure. Anyway, other things I played just quickly. I bought Dirt 3. That was the only thing I managed to buy in the Steam sale because it works with my fucking steering wheel. So I was like, well, gotta get on that. I played like the first triangle of the first triangle hedron.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The first tetrahedron. I'm trying to strike my difficulty balance here, and I can't quite find it. Because if you put it on advanced, you just get absolutely destroyed and come last every race.
Yeah.
If I put it on intermediate, I win by about 10 seconds every race. So what I did was I went on advanced and then turned the difficulty of the other drivers down to intermediate, and then still I'm winning by 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think I've got it. Isn't it like 5? It's
5 is the it's 1 to 6, and 5 is advanced. 3 is intermediate.
Yeah, I think I have it on 4.
Okay, I have all the assists off except for ABS.
Yeah, I think that's same for me. And like
I'll probably turn it up to 4 because it is a bit easier.
Yeah, I have like all the HUD elements turned off and like.
Okay, I'm gonna do that next as well because that sounds cool.
Yeah.
I want all the HUD
and
off.
then you drive at night in the snow and then shit your pants because it's like the most intense fucking experience of your life.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
I did the most amazing thing in the last race I just did. I went off track, and you know those piles of logs that just fuck you up? Yeah. So I was on one of the Finland tracks, the foresty ones, and I was literally went into this huge fucking ditch off the left side of the track, and I was coming towards these logs, and I was like, oh shit. And then just before the logs, there was this tiny dip. I went in it, got some air from it, jumped over the logs, and then carried on and like won the race by miles because I just cut a corner completely. It was amazing.
Pretty good.
It's really sketchy. But yeah, that game feels really good. The only thing I could complain about is the force feedback's a little weak on my wheel. Like it throws you about, like it's really stuttery, but it's like not throwing you about with any force, so you can just kind of hold it in place and ignore it. I really want it to give it some.
That seems like something that should be like crazy.
I played F1 2012, and the force feedback in that is like at times I almost can't move the wheel. Like it just freaking locks the wheel when the wheels lock up or whatever. And in Project Cars it's stronger than it is in Dirt 3, and I've only got it on like 70% force feedback. So I don't know. I can't find the setting for it in Dirt 3. I don't know whether I need to go into the control panel for my wheel, but it definitely needs to cranked up.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is spending a week with people who are infatuated with Dota, and also there being a Dota tournament at the thing we went to, and then coming back home and watching the Dota 2 quick look out of mere curiosity. I think I might end up playing Dota.
Yeah, I've got it installed. I played like a bit of the tutorial and
I've played like up to the bit where you do the mid lane games.
yeah.
Basically where they got to in the quick look, if you watch the whole quick look.
Yeah.
If you want to give that a go, give me a shout. 'Cause
Maybe, I don't know.
maybe we should fail Dota together.
Maybe.
Maybe. That might work. I mean, I have the fundamentals down, because obviously I've got like 100 hours in League of Legends, but there's enough differences in Dota for it to just confuse the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game seems complicated.
Also, I went in like the Giant Bomb channel, and there's like 100+ people in there at all times, so I'm sure we could find someone to, to explain shit.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Maybe we should.
Maybe.
Anyway, that's all I was going to talk about.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess I didn't go to Valencia or Las Vegas. I stayed at home and played some games. Probably less than I should have. I feel like having not done anything for 2 weeks, but I guess I finished Alpha Protocol. Yeah, that game's rough. I think last week last time we recorded, I was like, I sort of begrudgingly liked it. I'm backing down from that stance and just saying that this game's bad. Like straight up, like the people that like this game are wrong. Like,
well,
no, they're wrong.
Yeah, don't the people that like it, like most of them at least, admit it's like, yeah, it's bad, but I like it. Like, isn't that the whole point?
Just I just don't understand what, like, it has almost zero redeeming qualities.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ugly. Like, the story makes no sense. The gameplay is trash. It's got that ambition to make like a crazy, like choice driven story is probably like the one good thing about that game, and they don't really capitalize on that at all. So I
always feel like, is it a knock? I always think that's more of a knock though, when people say, oh well, this game tries to not suck, but it can't even do that. Like, I always look at that as kind of a backhanded comment.
I guess it probably is. Like, the end of the story is just for a thing that's about, like, I don't know, spies and stuff. You expect to have like an engaging story. It just the end is just the most, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's like 3 boss battles in a row that are all terrible. It's just, oh god. Yeah, I don't know. It just, and the gameplay is just horrible. Like, oh fuck that game. It's got that problem of
Sucking.
Yeah, well, it's got that sucking problem. No, it's like where RPGs, like, they give you all like ways to build your character, but sort of screw you in the end game by like not supporting like the different builds, I guess.
Yeah. And
that game doesn't really support a stealth build in the end, because there's just straight up boss fights where you've got to like shoot down a helicopter, and you can't, like, I'm gonna sneak up behind this helicopter and choke it out. That doesn't work,
unfortunately. That would be amazing if you could do that.
Yeah. So yeah, that game's just, I sort of want to like explain why the ending is so bad, but probably wouldn't really make that much sense. I mean, it didn't make much sense to me, and I played the whole game. But like some character that you thought was just like a journalist is actually some like mega assassin or something, and she like shoots you, and then while you're like having this face off with like your like the big bad guy, and then like she also shoots you and you're like on the ground injured and stuff, and then like you're like, oh fuck you bitch, why'd you shoot me? And then turns out she was like under the employ of this big bad guy, and then like the guy is like refuses to pay her until she actually kills you, but then she's just like, fuck it, I'll just kill this guy instead, shoots him in the head, and then just sort of walks away. And then it's like, well, why didn't she just kill me and get her money instead of killing him and not getting any money? That doesn't really make any sense. And then you get on a boat and then drive off into the sunset, and it's terrible.
So does this game have a plot?
I mean, I guess, but it's not a very good one. Like, you know how I said, like, last time I said, like, I had sort of lost the plot because I hadn't played it in so while. I think maybe there just wasn't a plot in the first place, and
there wasn't one to find.
I was sort of tricking myself. I don't know. Yeah, that game's bad. Like, just don't play that game. It's bad.
I wasn't planning on it, but
no. Like, disregard everything I said last week. This game's bad.
This game is just trash.
Oh, last time, yeah. Following up on my brief interest in Twin Peaks, I finished the first season.
I really want to watch that after you posted that.
Yeah.
After you posted that clip. I want to watch that so much.
Yeah. That show's fantastic, but apparently the second season is terrible, so I'm just going to not watch it.
Just don't watch it.
Yeah. But I sort of do want to watch it because I just want to see how it gets like bad, because I don't know.
Is the first season like? Is it like Deadly Premonitions? Like, is it?
Oh, there's not like zombies and stuff.
No, I mean, like, is it the so bad it's good, or I mean, like, I think.
Oh no, like it's got legitimate like it's got legitimately like good performances and stuff, and like it's weird. Like it's it's not your typical like murder mystery thing. It is very weird, but yeah, it's really interesting, and just a bit of a curiosity and stuff, and the soundtrack's pretty awesome.
One of those
in a 90s sort of way.
Yeah. One of the like first recommended videos when I saw that clip you posted was like just a super cut of like every single like freaking out over coffee like in Twin Peaks.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Well, it's not even freaking out over coffee, it's just freaking out over food in general. Like the main character is just like anytime he goes into like some cafe, it's like it's pretty good. Yes.
Man, Deadly Premonition is awesome.
Yes, Deadly Premonition is awesome, and so is Twin Peaks. Or at least the first season is. I don't know whether I'll watch the second season. I don't know. I'll look it up, see what people say, because there is also a prequel movie, which I'm not really sure how that would work and be interesting, but apparently it's quite good. Because like, I mean, like the whole conceit of the thing is this murder like that happens like at the very start of the series. So like, what happens before that? I don't know if that stuff would be that interesting, but yeah. So yeah, finished watching that. It's cool. I also played some Dawn of War, which was like the only thing I bought in the Steam sale, because a friend of mine was like the first one, like the Platinum Edition, which was like the Game of the Year edition.
The RTS, yeah.
Yeah.
I played the shit out of that.
God, what the hell? It's like, it's got the Game of the Year edition, Winter Assault, which is one of the expansions, and Dark Crusade, which is
Dark Crusade was a standalone, I believe, because I had that and only that, I think.
Yeah. So Dark Crusade has like the Necrons and another race in.
Yes, I fucking love the shit out of the Necrons.
Yeah. So yeah, a friend of mine like bought that and was like, oh, you should buy that. We'll play some multiplayer because it's quite cheap. And yeah, so me and a couple of friends have been playing that online against bots and then against human opponents, and we won our like first game like a couple of days ago, because like we are terrible at that game, so it took us a while. But
last time I played that, I couldn't actually get it to connect to any games. It was really sad.
Yeah, there's usually about 20 people on at like a time, and then sometimes it goes up to about 40. So it's not like loads of people playing it, but it's quite a nice game. And yeah, it's I mean, like I've said, I'm not massively into strategy games, but I do have like a build order now that I totally just swiped off the internet, which seems to work quite well. But I can't really tell because like, we're playing like 3-on-3, so like from what I've heard, like playing with other people in strategy games like takes some of like the strategy out because you can sort
It
of rely on
completely
it.
breaks it.
Yeah. But I mean, there's definitely like elements where it's like, right, this team is just better than us. Like,
Yeah, but if you just bum rush one dude and kill them off before the other two get there, like it's 3v2 at that point, and like it doesn't really matter what you do.
But yeah,
Also-
it's been interesting.
The next step is just play StarCraft.
Oh god.
You're literally like that. That was the step I made. Maybe via like Rome Total War.
Rome Total War just seems like a completely different game to.
Oh yeah, it is. But
It is.
I'm just saying that was my path.
Yeah. That game's all right. I guess.
It's
But
pretty cool.
I can't tell if it's like a good strategy game or if it's just because I'm playing.
No,
with my friends.
the Relic games were really popular.
Yeah.
They were widely regarded as making some pretty good strategy games.
Yeah, and I just like I sort of like vaguely like Warhammer stuff just for I don't know. I never
cool.
got yeah
Shit
I never
looks cool.
yeah I never got into like Warhammer like as like collecting like the figurines and stuff and actually rolling a dice and playing people and stuff.
If I had money to burn and the ability to paint, I would totally be.
Yeah,
all
I know.
over.
I collected them, but never actually played them.
Yeah.
I'd just paint them and put them on a
games.
shelf. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, that was the
use-
one. That's like I can't like draw or do anything like artistic like that. But for some reason I was fucking bitching at painting like models. Like,
did you buy the little bags of like grit and little bits of grass and glue them on the back? Man, I fucking love.
And then you
looking
like
at,
customize
Warhammer
the
and stuff
bases
like
and
that.
like I didn't really get into like the 40k stuff. I really liked like the kind of pseudo medieval setting stuff, like the elves and like the skeleton dudes and like all those different races. But yeah, like I was really really proud of like my armies. I was like, man, these look fucking awesome, and I painted them, and like I can't even draw a fucking person like that doesn't look like a 5-year-old drew it. Like, like my people are still stick men. Like, and that was one thing that I really did enjoy about that. I was like, I can actually feel good about something artistic painting these models.
Yeah.
So, and
yeah, I'm playing mainly Space Marine because I don't know, they seem like the simplest race so far. Like I played a bit of Necron, they're a bit weird because they don't use one of the resource types.
Alright. I actually the easiest race for that I ended up playing all the time was Chaos.
Yeah, Chaos from the little bit I played of them seemed quite similar to Space
And
Marine.
Eldar are a bit like Protoss, so.
Yeah, Eldar, I fucking hate fighting Eldar. Fucking hate. I hate
Eldar's
like
pretty strong.
fighting all the other races. Like they're all dicks.
Yeah.
Like orcs can fuck off. Yeah.
I enjoy killing orcs.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm way better than my friends, and they're sort of bringing me down. Like.
You should just cut loose and go on 1v1.
I mean, I have been doing a couple of one-on-ones, but it's hard. Like people are really because
Yeah, the people who
people
are
that are playing that now are like,
good at that game.
yeah, they're good at the game. Well, some of them are. Like, I mean, we managed to win a 3-on-3 considering like we just bought the game like the other week or something, so
Sure.
it can't be that amazing. But like people are really like stingy against about who they'll play against. Like the terminology NN, like no noobs, is like you see that a lot in like people's like games that you can join. So like if we joined, we would have just got kicked. So
How can they
yeah.
tell?
you can look at someone's like their like win ratio and stuff, and how many games they've played. So yeah. But I think like some proportion of the people that were playing it like just bought on the Steam sale also. So we're just just as green as we were. But yeah, I don't know. I think I might be better than them just because I sort of vaguely know about strategy games just from like being on Giant Bomb and stuff, and like you just sort of absorb some of that stuff even if you're not into it.
Yeah.
So like when I like briefly mentioned Build Order, they were just like, what? I was like, oh, I can't even be asked to get into this because it's just yeah.
What do they do? Do they just randomly click shit?
They don't rant like they sort of they know like that you've got to research stuff to get other stuff, and like they know like the tiers and stuff and all that, but I don't know, like they don't have like a solid sort of build.
Do you know your
order,
hotkeys?
I know most of them. I couldn't like reel them off now, but like
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. S is the constructor unit at the
at the fucking stronghold. M is the Scout Marines.
Oh.
S is the Space Marines at the barracks. So you just go in barracks and just spam the S button, make more Marines.
Sounds like Terran. You just hold down A and one.
Yeah. Well, you can't really spam Space Marines because they're sort of they're all right, but they get worked by anything that's like specialized, I guess. They're like the sort of
not like Terran
traits.
then, and Terran and Marines just kill everything. And
Yeah, like they're pretty good at they're pretty good at ranged and melee, but they'll get torn apart by like a specialized melee unit or a specialized range unit, unless you like micro them pretty well. Which can be sort of tough because they're like, I don't know, they're like pathfinding and stuff's not always fantastic, and you tell them to do something and they just sort of stand there like wait for a few seconds and right, okay, yeah, I'll do it now, which is like a couple of seconds can sort of change a game almost, which sucks. But I bought a copy of Driver San Francisco because
and proceeded not to play it.
No, I played it. I played quite a bit of it. That game's interesting. The driving model is more realistic than I would have expected, which is sort of cool. Like you can't just sort of like, unlike the old Drive games, you could just sort of swing around corners like crazy and like it would look like some 70s action movie.
That was the point.
Did you play like any of the PS1 Driver games?
Fuck yeah. Driver 2 was the shit.
Driver 2. The first one I thought was kind of shit, but like the second one I thought had like some real good humor in it.
I don't know, fuck the story. You just free roam. You just
find
all the hidden cars and play the multiplayer. And
some of the stuff in Driver 2 was pretty funny.
Driver 2 was the one that had the like you could get out your car.
Yeah.
It? Yes. I remember. Yeah, all I used to do in that game was like I played like the story for a bit until I got bored. Then I would just try and get the like drive over the bridge as it was opening and just do that, like get the police on me and then just drive over a bridge and just do that. That'd be hobby. I played Driver 1, I think, as well, and I think I played Driver 3, which obviously wasn't fantastic.
I never played 3. Played 1
Driver
and 2.
3 have like the E as a 3 in the name.
Yes, Drive 3.
Yeah.
That game had a lot of controversy about UK reviewers getting paid off because like it in the UK got really highly scored and in the like everywhere else was like terrible, just terrible reviews, and it was like,
it ever actually confirmed or was that just
it was like not properly confirmed, but it's pretty much it's like common knowledge that like people received money to give that game good scores, which is a bit disconcerting. But
well, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, San Francisco is a cool setting for a driving game because it's just got like all those crazy jumps and stuff, and it's got like I don't know, just got cool like roads to drive through and stuff. It seems fairly realistically modeled. I couldn't tell you how realistically because I've never been to San Francisco, but it's a pretty big game world, and I don't think I've unlocked all of it yet. Like I can't go over the Golden Gate Bridge yet into like wherever that place is. I think that's Sausalito or Petaluma or something over the Golden Gate Bridge, but I couldn't actually tell you. And then there's like another bit of like the actual main city that I haven't been to either. But pretty like realistic driving model, which is cool for that sort of game. The story seems interesting so far. Do either of you know the sort of setup for the story?
Yeah,
I've got a vague idea, but I can't remember.
I know the reveal.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. Like the way that stuff plays out. Like when I first heard about that game, it's like, oh, you can switch cars, and it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And it's like the way it explains all that stuff's actually quite interesting. It's done quite well. Like the voice acting for the main two characters, like your character and your partner, is pretty good, but some of the other voice acting it's pretty French Canadian, if you know what I mean. Pretty heavy, rainy, like just slightly off to the point where you can tell that like this isn't an American person doing this accent.
Okay.
So it's it's just Phil Fish doing all the accents. And there's some like vaguely racist stuff because some of the accents are sort of bad, but just like there's just like a couple of Asian characters that sound weird, and like I I'm almost 99% sure that it isn't like Asian dudes playing the roles, which
Oh,
makes
okay.
it weird.
Polo Santosi. Oh, I played Just Cause 2 multiplayer because that was on today. Oh, I need to talk about that. I'll let you finish what you're saying, but I need to fucking talk about
Yeah, Drive to San Francisco is cool. It's got like licensed cars as well, which is awesome.
Can you smash them up?
Yes, you can smash them pretty good. And then you just switch car. So it's weird because like when you switch car, you're like basically occupying like another person's body. It's like Quantum Leap style, where you like look in the mirror to you and you're talking the same voice, but like to everyone else you are like a different person. So you're essentially like going at these cars, like wrecking them and like injuring this person, and just being like, right, see it, going at another car. It's like, it's sort of weird. And like sometimes like you'll be like driving along, hit a police car, and they'll stop chasing you, and like you're a police officer, so you're like helping people become fugitives from the law, which is also sort of weird, but whatever. That game's like lighthearted enough that stuff doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay, Brad, tell us a bit about this Just Cause multiplayer.
Alright, so it's been a while since I played Just Cause multiplayer. My last experience in Just Cause multiplayer was jumping boats over boats and jumping boats over bridges and just doing generally stupid shit with boats. I think we talked about it before. And I went back to it now, and apart from like stuff, it's got improved hit detection. It's got like you can teleport to anywhere on the map at any point. You can participate in races, which are pretty silly, and they have like collision and are retarded, and you can do all kinds of weird stuff like that. The other thing they've added is boost, which it sounds pretty harmless. Just that you can make the cars go a bit faster, except it's completely broken. And it's like broken in all the best ways. So if you get in like a tuk-tuk, a couple of things they've done as well is they've overhauled the UI and stuff, which is kind of cool. And there's like, when you get in vehicles, there's like a sort of 3D in-world speedometer that comes out the side of the car. Do you understand what I kind of mean? Like it looks like a little like arrow coming off the side of the car.
Yeah.
You drive along and it follows you and shows your speed. So the tuk-tuk, you get in it and it can go like, I don't know, 100 maybe at tops. And the thing with the boost button is you can hold it down and you go pretty fast. Like it's a hell of a boost, especially if you're in a really fast car already. And so if you're going like 100 kilometers an hour, you could probably get it up to 200 if you like held the boost down and just went. The thing is, though, the boost recharges really quickly, so if you just tap it gently, repeatedly, you can get the tuk-tuk up to like over 600 kilometers an hour. And so apart from that's amusing enough on its own, like if you hit anything, you just instantly explode. So the next logical step was to get a really fast car on a slope and see what happens if I drive into the sky. You can jump across like giant rivers and shit, but the best part is, because the boost recharges so quickly, you can fly cars. Like, you can legitimately get them into the sky, then keep tapping the boost button to accelerate in the air and just fucking fly. And I managed to fly so far that I flew off the side of the map and then was going something like 10,000 kilometers per hour just out of the map. And it was so gloriously broken that it was just absolutely hilarious. One point, we flew a car into a mountain. And it might have been on got on stunt position whilst it was doing it, and then fell off the car. And then afterwards, Rico, it is Rico, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rico started walking diagonally, like he was just tilted to the side and just walking forward sideways for ages, and we couldn't work out why. It's so broken in like more ways than it was before, but all of them are completely awesome. And so if you have Just Cause, you should totally be playing that right now. Actually, it'll probably be ended by the time this podcast goes up, but you should have been playing it last weekend. Sucks to be you.
Okay. God, where was I?
Played stuff.
Oh yeah, the only other thing I played was a bit of the Walking Dead 400 Days, which is like the new sort of 1.5 episode. So the way it sort of is set up is there's like a notice board, and you just pick. I think there's like 5 characters, and you just pick like a character and see their scene, I guess, and then I assume it culminates in like a scene with all these characters in. It sort of just gives you like setup. So I played as Bonnie and Wyatt. think. And they all like the characters like that they are and the characters they interact with like are all like seem pretty interesting so far. There's already been one pretty like messed up thing in terms of like violence and like which was like awesome and
Would it be a spoiler to say what it is?
I'm just gonna say it happened in the Bonnie scene or the Bonnie like vignette thing because I mean those things only last like 20 minutes if that
Okay.
for each like individual character and like I assume that because that's why I assume it goes into something bigger because like that would mean the episode was like an hour and a half or something. I think it's longer than that. But yeah, it was just it's sort of right at the end of her thing something pretty messed up happens. It's sort of cool.
With going forward, like I think like they're probably gonna run out of ways to like keep one-upping the oh my fucking god, I can't believe they just
it's not like that.
No.
I wasn't like jumping out my chair like, oh what the but it's just sort of like it's sort of messed up in the way that I guess what would I compare it to? God, what was that dick dad called? The guy that gets killed in
Larry?
Yeah, Larry, like smashing his head with that breeze block thing. It's sort of on that sort of
Yeah,
level.
that wasn't messed up. That was fucking amazing.
But it was still sort of messed up.
That was like the best part of that episode.
Yeah, it's sort of like that, I guess. If I had to compare it to a bit.
Yeah,
But yeah, like the dialogue's pretty good. There's been some decent humor and stuff, and it's just sort of like renewed my confidence in, I guess, season 2, knowing that like they can go forward with different characters.
Yeah, I really do want to play that. What is it? Is it 400 days?
400 days. It's like I think it's like it means 400 days since the start of because the way like it'll go into a character and be like have their name and then have like how many days in. So it's like Bonnie's like 220 days in or something.
All right, okay.
And then like the Wyatt character I think was like 40 days in or something. So his one was a bit more like people like freaking out, like sort of still not 100% on what's going on. Like obviously like people knew zombies and like stuff, but it was like sort of reacting to like other humans and stuff. It was like that. His was interesting. It's just interesting to get like that different perspective and different like time scale, I guess, on like when the apocalypse happened compared to like when these characters are like interacting with each other and stuff. So 400 days I assume means 400 days into the apocalypse, but I guess all that stuff happens at a different point because I haven't got to that yet. But yeah, it seems good. It's Walking Dead, like the way it plays and stuff, and the way the dialogue is and stuff. But yeah, it seems cool. I'll probably finish that tonight, hopefully, because it doesn't seem massively long. But yeah, that was pretty much me for this week. I guess there is some news, some quite big news. There was like breaking news like 2 hours ago, which we sort of missed the window on to call actually breaking news, but whatever. God, let's see. I'll just start from the top, I guess. Diepic and Deadly Premonition are going to be on Steam at some point. So both these games got greenlit. Finally. I can't believe it's taking this long for, like, it seems like Divekick should have been greenlit like fucking ages ago. I didn't even know Deadly Premonition was on greenlight, so that's weird. But yeah. So as well as coming to PS3 and Vita, is it? Is Divekick coming to Vita?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
It'll also be coming to PC.
Oh
on
man,
Steam.
I might get a Vita then. Divekick for Vita could be amazing.
Do you reckon you could do
people's heads at Evo? By the way, that have you guys seen like the fraud detection thing on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if that actually happened to you, like you had to okay it, obviously, but that happened to a guy while I was watching it, and they had this stamp that had like fraud on it and stamped on his head, which is pretty funny. I really hope they make those 2-button sticks.
I know. I would buy the shit out of two
I mean,
of those.
they exist. I mean, they were there at the tournament.
Yeah.
At the tournament.
They already said.
It's just a case of whether or not they'll actually make them.
Didn't Dave Lang say, though, that they would need to make like 30,000 of them or something to make it
To make it
viable?
up with. Yeah, to make it
Yeah,
up.
I mean, to be honest, I depending on the setup for the game, I imagine it's quite easy. Like if you're into that sort of thing, there was actually a huge like stick modding section at Evo where like people would like mod
Yeah.
your shit for you. So I mean, if you were really hardcore about it, you could probably make one if you
Yeah.
really wanted
Well,
to.
there was that dude on the Giant Bomb forum who already made a shoe.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Which is pretty dope.
Yeah, but yeah, I really do hope they make those because I'd really like to own one of them.
I reckon if you had it on the Vita, though, you could probably do 2-player on one Vita.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
You think? I mean, yeah. I mean, if one guy could use maybe like the shoulder buttons, I guess, and
One guy could use L and a D-pad direction, and the other dude could use R and a button.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
That'd be
Yeah.
weird, like holding a Vita like with one hand, and
yeah.
like if
Yeah,
someone
no,
rages and like throws the Vita, and it's like, man, like that was
Yeah.
my Vita. What are you doing?
So yeah,
I'm
they
really
are
looking forward to playing that. I think that could be.
going to be on Steam at some point. Is it Deadly? Not Deadly Premonition. Dive Kicks this month, isn't it?
20th of August.
August.
Yeah.
Is out.
Oh yeah, sorry, next month. For some reason I thought this month was August. Yeah.
I really hope that gets like an Evo spot for next year.
Yeah.
I really hope it does. That would be so amazing.
And stupid.
Okay.
It's a weird concept. Like, I mean, when they added the stuff, I'm a little like I really thought it was more interesting when it was strictly just spacing and like fundamental based on just jumping and kicking and like. But
That
you never know.
interested me more.
Yeah, you never know. Some like new fighting games tend to get a spot at Evo, whether because like when they're new, more people play them. I think it coming out in August, I guess maybe goes against it a little bit. In that regard, but it could be.
Okay. Probably one of the biggest stories from this week. Activision Blizzard have split from Vivendi. In a $8.2 billion deal, which is that's a lot of money. So yeah, Vivendi owned Activision Blizzard for what seems like forever. They still own like a 12% stake in Activision Blizzard, but like no longer like control them. See, Bobby Kotick will still be CEO, so he'll probably still talk shit about games and people will still hate him.
I thought Kotick was an Activision employee, not a Vivendi employee. Wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was. Isn't he like the CEO of Activision?
Yeah. It was just the news story for some reason mentioned it, so I thought it was worth stating that like nothing is.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just proving that Activision Blizzard are made of money.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even.
Their houses are probably literally made of stacks of money.
Yeah,
Why
I don't know if this has any relevance for like us. Like, is it going to change like the way Activision Blizzard actually work? But
Do either of us play any Activision or Blizzard? I know, Brad, you play StarCraft is Blizzard, right? Am I getting that?
Yeah.
Thought so.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's going to actually change. It's not going to, it's not going to suddenly be like, oh, Call of Duty's not coming out every year, or World of Warcraft.
I
I
highly
don't
doubt
think
that's going to.
Vivendi had any input.
Yeah. So I don't think anything massive's going to change. It was just a large sum of money, a very large sum
That's
of
a
money.
big number.
Yep, it is. So yeah, the breaking news I briefly mentioned, Phase 2 was apparently cancelled, according to Phil Fish and Polytron.
Polytron is Phil Fish. I retract my earlier thing.
Yeah.
So according to Phil Fish, Phase 2 is cancelled.
It's just funny, like if you see like Phil Fish, like he's like Twitter, like this whole thing happened on Twitter. So if you're not on Twitter, then yeah, we're gonna have to probably explain it to you. But yeah. So he basically said he got in an argument with Marcus. God, what's his last name?
Beer.
Marcus Beer. Yes, he was otherwise known as Annoyed Gamer on Game Trailers. Does a bunch of content there. So he asked Phil Fish and Jonathan Blow for quotes on this apparent rumor that Microsoft would be doing self-publishing or some form of self-publishing. And they both declined to comment because they were waiting until the story was more solid and they knew that it was actually, true. That then caused Marcus Beer to go on the Invisible Walls podcast or video cast or whatever the hell it is and call them tosspots, hipsters, whatever. And then Phil Fish went off on Twitter and told Marcus Beer to kill himself. And just sort of went a bit crazy. And then that culminated in him saying that fuck it, Fez 2's cancelled. And yeah.
He hasn't posted since.
No. Sort of completely.
Yeah, I don't know whether there's too much to really comment on this. Like, it's shitty on both sides. Obviously, Fish shouldn't have said something that severe, but he always is sensationalist in his tweets. He was already on a rant beforehand that, like, if you read it all in context, like, it's the kind of thing that you say stupidly in the middle of an angry rant and obviously don't actually mean it, but in a public eye, it's something that just isn't acceptable to say. But you also have to consider the fact that what Beer said is this completely unnecessary when Fish and Blow get enough shit from both ends, from the public and from the media already. He really didn't need to call them out for, like, they didn't need to make a comment about the Xbox stuff. It's not his fucking problem if they don't want to comment on some rumor. Like, just because journalism is that shit nowadays that Twitter is a valid source doesn't mean that
Twitter literally makes
developers
news
should
stories,
be. Yeah, it doesn't mean that developers should be held accountable when they don't want to comment on an unreliable source. Like, I don't know, it's complete shit. I'm pissed off that Fez might be cancelled. I don't actually believe that Phil Fish would be that,
Crazy.
brash in his decision making. But he's the kind of guy who would say this kind of thing, and it doesn't really surprise me.
The quote about Marcus Beer killing himself was like, look at my life, then look at yours, then kill yourself or something, which is like
that's something I would say.
It's like it's a Futurama reference apparently, but
yes, it is.
Still.
It is actually.
And there's also a post on Polytron's website that just says Fez 2 is cancelled, I am done, I take the money and I run. This is as much as I can stomach. This isn't the result of any one thing, but the end of a long bloody campaign. You win.
I wish that would have rhymed as well. Because at that point, it's like, really?
So, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Phil Fish is sort of hilarious to follow on. As long as you
Blow
don't...
hasn't been directly defending what he said, but Blow has been defending Phil Fish as a person as a result of this, indirectly. Yes. Like, not calling out Phil Fish, he's just been talking about indie developers in general, and like the kind of shit that they have to put up with. But I think it's like news websites reporting on this as fact again is fucking pissing me off already. Like saying just straight up in their headlines that Fez 2 is cancelled. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all it is. So shit. Like someone was having a go at Patrick Klepek because Klepek said he would reserve his judgment until someone had actually said something official. It's like, what? Are you stupid? Like, none of this is real. It's just someone on Twitter. I don't care.
I mean, I don't know. I was sort of excited for Fez 2, which
I was fucking. You know how excited I was for Fez 2. That was my game of the year, and.
I don't know. Like, it sort of sucks that Phil Fish tends to sort of lets people get to him, I guess.
Yeah, he does. For sure.
But, not good. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen every, everything that Phil Fish said, because it's just like a huge just Twitter timeline of him saying some pretty
Dumb shit.
and like I haven't actually watched the Mark Spear thing, but like from what I can tell, what people are posting, like pretty much exactly what he said.
Both sides were in the wrong, is effectively.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But the journalist can get away with it because it's all publicity is good publicity for a journalist.
Games journalism is so dumb. You think about
It is bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
Yes. I don't know. Like Mark Spear's whole thing about calling people tosspots because they won't do interviews or comment on something that might not even be true. It's just completely ridiculous. Like, oh man, it's like think about like almost like any other medium. Imagine if like someone on the BBC was like trying to get comment out with someone, they wouldn't comment. Oh, you're a tosspot. You're a wanker.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that on like BBC News or something. It's like, that's just completely ridiculous.
That would
like,
actually be kind of amazing if that happened.
but
yeah, I see your point. Yeah,
it's the sort of stuff you'd like expect from like a tabloid newspaper or something, but not from like a major publication. And it sort of shows like at what level video games. A lot of games journalism, like game trailers are one of the biggest. You might not like them, but like they're one of the biggest like games news websites out there, and to have one of their employees do that, and like them like promoting it on their Twitter account, like, oh yeah, Mark Spear calls out like Jonathan Blow and Phil Fish. It's like, no, like he's not calling them out, he's like,
you're just being a prick.
He's being a child because they wouldn't comment on something, and like Phil Fish didn't do well to react to it in the way he did, but it's terrible. Everyone should be ashamed. Oh man. Yeah.
Games
Anyway.
journalism.
Yeah. Unfortunately, games journalism is a pretty appropriate comment. So I guess the next news story is sort of linked is about that Xbox self-publishing stuff. This is something that obviously been rumored for a while and pretty much confirmed by Mark Whitten, that the Xbox One is going to have some form of self-publishing, which is something that a lot of people, including Phil Fish and other indie developers, have complained about, like the 360 not having, like Microsoft being a pain to work with when you're an indie and stuff. It's like, yeah, it is cool because there are some, like particularly like Fez, like that might not have even came out on the 360. It was like lucky that actually came out on the 360 because it seemed like Phil Fish was like on the edge of madness trying to get that game to actually come out, and sometimes actually tipped over into full on insanity, and it spilled out onto his Twitter account, and it's all sort of stems from Microsoft being sort of shitty with the way they were with indies. Now like you can self-publish games on the 360 on Xbox One, which is cool. I guess we'll see more indies on Xbox One, and I assume this is them pretty much trying to directly compete with like the way Sony were with their indie publishers and stuff. At E3, showing like fucking, like Octodad and whatever.
No one knows how like open this really is going to be. I mean, there's rumors that their Xbox Ones are going to be dev kits, but there's also on the PS4 side people saying that Sony are handing out free dev kits for a year to known indie developers, and they're also not like adversely expensive. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. Just gonna have to see how this develops.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, like, I mean, this can go wrong on both Sony and Microsoft now because they both pretty much got the same policy here. It's like just seeing like, just torrents of crap coming out on like.
Well, that's not what self-publishing means.
I mean,
they're still going to vet the stuff that comes out, but
they aren't in a position to really make quality judgment. Like a game can be playable and stuff, but be I suppose that even happened on Xbox Live Arcade, but I don't know. There are popular games on the Indie Games channel that like are terrible. Like will a Minecraft clone be able to come out on
Yeah.
whatever?
I think
Like
that's not going to happen, is it? By the way, talking about Xbox Live indie games, have you guys
Yeah.
played Mount Your Friends?
oh god, I actually
No.
This is
downloaded that.
fucking amazing.
I had
Oh
a-
my god.
I had a friend round who were like, yeah, let's look at the indie games. They're usually terrible, and we saw that and downloaded it, but never actually played it.
What? Oh, okay.
Just ended up playing like terrible football games, which
Trust me, Mount Your
every
Friends is legitimately one of the best things I've played on an Xbox. It's
I've not played it.
oh my god, it's so dumb.
yeah, those indie games are the greatest indie game ever is Alpha Chimp by like far and away.
Fuck Alpha Chimp.
Fucking Alpha Chimp
I
is amazing.
think
game.
I've played that. I think I'm not
Alpha
sure.
Chimp
I went
is
and played the demo because John made me.
fucking amazing.
No, I made a
No,
game with
it's
zombies
so
in it. It's still the best indie game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
made a game.
fun.
It's pretty.
And really, it's only the best because of the song that's
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. Talking
Um,
about good music, there was I can't remember what it's called. Artoon, that's it. Artoon is actually a legitimately good puzzly platformer type game.
yeah, I don't know. Like there is some stuff like there's like Flotilla which came out on Steam and
Oh shit, did that come out on indie games?
yeah, that's something that I've got that vision. It's good.
Wow.
What else? Solar 2 as well, which I
Yeah.
have on Steam. I think is also a good game. But yeah, it's so rare that there's something that's actually competently made and
Yeah.
God,
Hopefully
they used
games like that can still make it through.
yeah, there used to be a. Remember when like Xbox had all that like it had like the Xbox or like Microsoft UK teams would do like video stuff. They had like sent you a message and stuff.
Oh fuck that shit.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
they had a
Unfortunately, I do remember that.
Yeah, they had a show that was like, oh god, I can't remember what the hell it's called, but it was like this
Dick Games Central.
this guy who would just play indie games and like it was really bizarre.
Did
It
he
was
just
like,
play all the dating sim ones?
no, it was like this surreal like. Oh man, I can't remember what it was. It was fucking amazing. It was actually like legitimately funny. You would just play like these terrible indie games and like, and it was on the Xbox like home screen. I was just like, how is this even like? He like vetted this and said, "Yep, this is what we want." On because he's just tearing apart some of these games, but like in a really weird, like surreal. Or he's like he's taking the piss out of them. He's like being really sarcastic and.
Alright, I need
Like
to
he-
see this now.
I can't remember what it was called, but he wrote a poem about one of them, I think. Which was, pretty amazing. But yeah, he was I think he worked at like GameSpot UK or something, but I don't think he works there anymore. Yeah.
What happened to those sent you a message guys?
I hope they never got hired again.
I don't know. That stuff was all right. It was.
It was okay for like the information stuff. I think it was just like
They tried way too hard.
yeah, they tried way too hard to be funny. Really,
Yeah.
like
Plus they
it would have
had the
been.
same haircut.
Oh yeah, it would have been way better if it was just a news show. Like it was like,
Yeah, yeah.
yo, this is like what's happening and shit, and like if we can find anything out on your question, we will. Like
Yeah.
the whole like terrible attempts at humor were like really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of them might have went to GameSpot UK, but I could be wrong. Which, by the way, GameSpot UK is actually I went back there a couple of like recently because God, what's it called? Daniel Dwyer. He was at Giant Bomb for like 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yes, his random encounter videos are pretty amazing. Yeah, like GameSpot UK seems like sort of like the opposite of like the actual GameSpot. It's just like
If I type in GameSpot, it takes me to that, right?
yeah. I think it's like all.
I thought Danny O'Dwyer said something about them being merged now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened because it's still a different thing, I think. But yeah, like GameSpot UK, they've actually got some really good content and stuff, and like now they can swear on video, which like was a really
Whoa.
weird thing that like when I used to listen to the GameSpot UK podcast, they couldn't swear, which was weird. But I think Daniel Dwyer has a potty mouth, so I don't know whether it was him just like swearing and then just went right, okay, we can't even be bothered to edit this, just whatever, just swear on video now, we don't care. or maybe it was something to do with Giant Bomb, because like Giant Bomb and that, obviously owned by CBSI, so, and they aren't just going to like be like, oh no, we can't swear, because like that's not what they're about. So maybe they were just like, yeah, whatever, everyone swear.
Yeah, I mean, like, when it comes to things on the internet, is swearing really that big a deal?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I think like even in general life now, I think swearing's became way less like.
Yeah, true. I think
Yeah.
it's moved. People have moved.
Like when someone swears accidentally on TV, like they'll still apologize, but it's not like.
Yeah.
It's not
the
like
end of the world.
Yeah, and it's not like someone's like sending like an angry letter to like the BBC, like, oh, this person swore. My child is scarred for life.
Yeah. You know what's pretty funny? I don't know if you guys, Brad, do you ever watch the like MLG StarCraft streams at all when they're on?
Sometimes. I don't watch that much MLG anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch that because they haven't had a game on in a while that I wanted to watch. But they can't swear in their commentary, which is kind of funny.
Huh.
When you consider, the kind of extended fan base and that of MLG, it's pretty funny that we can't swear.
I don't think there's any swearing in casting for StarCraft. At least I don't remember anyone. That might not be true.
But yeah, I just think it was kind of. I remember I was watching. I think it was a Halo stream. It might have been when Halo 4 or Halo Reach was coming out. And like one of the commentators was like, "Man, that was good shit," and was like, "Oh, sorry." Like, it's like really, like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know, like casting and just commentating in general, like that's like the one thing where I don't know, swearing's almost. For me, it almost like brings down the tone of it. If people are just like, "Oh fuck, that guy just."
Oh yeah, if it's nothing,
shit.
yeah, if it's nothing but that, like. But if
because like I can imagine like that's what like the crowd are saying, and it's like they've got to sort of almost be like above that.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And especially sort of considering what the fighting game scene is like, is perceived as being like. It probably.
But that's not without merit. I mean.
But I'm saying like they want to sort of distance themselves from that, or at least like give off the perception that not everyone in the fighting game community is this like swearing, misogynist, racist, like they want to give an air.
It'd be great if the fighting game commentary was, and that misogynist hit the other misogynist.
I mean that's but I mean as I said, like that's not without. I mean I wasn't there when it happened, but I was listening to like I don't know what to call it, but a fighting game podcast basically. And apparently when Microsoft first came out to show Killer Instinct, like they were like booed and stuff. Which is pretty like they made a much better argument. Like, well, they explained it better, like why that was a really stupid thing to do. Yeah, like you shouldn't really done that. It's not good. I mean, you shouldn't do that anyway. Really, like I mean. I can understand if it was like a fucking puzzle game, but it was like it's a new IP. Like Killer Instinct is pretty, it's a pretty nostalgic fighting game franchise, and like to boo them when they come out is that's kind of shitty. Like,
yes, especially like directing abuse at like people just because they're associated with something you don't like is like.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's really shit that's an exclusive, like that is locked to the Xbox, but at least it's coming out. It's better than no new Killer Instinct at all. It's like when people flipped out over Bayonetta 2 being exclusive to the Wii U. It's like I'm assuming this Killer Instinct is probably the same. It probably wouldn't exist otherwise. So people do, and it's retarded, but. They do bitch over, well, I would have rather had nothing than having it on a console that I don't want. So,
Have they flip-flopped on that Bayonetta thing yet?
I don't think they will. It's funded by Nintendo, so I highly doubt that is going to go to anything else.
Guess not.
I'll buy a Wii U. I mean, they're already, like...
150 quid or something.
Yeah, they're already pretty cheap, so I paid, like, 90 quid for... my Wii and Geometry Wars, so I don't give a fuck.
Because you're fucking insane.
Because Geometry Wars is fucking awesome, dude.
How much would you pay for a Wii U if it ran Geometry Wars?
If it was a new Geometry Wars game, I don't know.
If it was like
Oh, it
not
you could
like
use the touch screen and you could like.
but it had more
awesome.
stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I've played a lot of Geometry Wars.
We know.
I don't know. It'd probably take like a full-on Geometry Wars 3 with like fully user-created levels in it for me to invest in a console for Geometry Wars again.
I don't think you're gonna get your wish.
It would probably. That's the main thing that I would really like for that though. Is like just be able like if they had some kind of like completely separate mode where you could just choose to spawn like only one enemy, but spawn 1,000 enemies every 2 seconds or something. Like just do whatever the fuck you wanted. Like no like leaderboard or no like scoring. Well, not scoring, like lives associated with just for fun. Like just throw that in there so people can fuck around.
We should make a fan-made Geometry Wars. You know enough about Geometry Wars. We can make this happen.
Yeah. I know enough about Geometry Wars. I don't know if I know enough about game making to actually make another Geometry
I've
Wars.
made a game. It'll be fine.
But I have, but there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty much all the news, isn't it? Unless
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
getting something.
It was fairly quiet
Yeah.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean the stuff about the PlayStation 4, like what was it? How much gigs being?
Oh
yeah.
5.5 gigs. I
Yeah,
think, wasn't it?
3.5 minimum is going to be used by the OS, up to 4.5. So developers are guaranteed to have at least 4.5 free for. Have I done that right?
Yeah, I think they mentioned it was like up to 5.5. That's the maximum they could actually allow, with that,
Yeah.
while keeping the operating system like optimum.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still pretty fucking good. That's
Yep.
RAM for a game.
Yep.
But you have to also consider that shared with the graphics card.
Yeah.
So halve it's like 2. But I mean, compared to the current generation, it's leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I mean, but, it's weird that games are still kind of aimed at 2. So
Yeah, I
Sort
haven't
of, yeah.
ever played a PC game that used more than 2 gig of RAM and wasn't actively leaking memory
Yeah.
and about to crash.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I assume we'll be back next week.
Sure.
No one's at like some other weird video game tournament.
Nope.
No. Cool. Yeah. So you can contact us on Twitter at TMEB Podcast. You can contact Phil Fish on Twitter as well and tell him he's a cool dude. Probably contact Marcus Beer as well and tell him he's a jerk. I don't know.
Tell
I don't
him,
know. Everyone's jerks in this
be
situation.
better
so
journalist.
yeah, be a better journalist.
Yeah.
Tell him he's a top
Constructive criticism. Yes, tell him he's a tosspot. Constructive criticism.
No, like don't do that.
I think that defeats the point.
I shouldn't have told people to do that.
we do not endorse any form of harassment.
I retract my earlier statement.
I think, yeah.
I mean, so, if you call both of them a toss spot, then that probably like balances out to the point where like it doesn't really matter anymore. But no, just don't do it. Yeah. So TMB Podcast or the Mighty Electronic Box at gmail.com is the email address. And we'll be back next week. So say goodbye, Joe.
Goodbye, Joe.
Say goodbye, Brad.
Goodbye, John.
Goodbye.